Well, looks like we're about ready to go live here. Thanks for joining, everybody. We're going to take our time having people come in. Going to have a little bit of a longer show than usual, and got some special guests coming in as well. So just hang on, stay with me, and you're going to find out what we're going to do as we get some people join here. We're going to be seeing some special guests come in, and we're going to also talk a little bit about the channel's growth and also where we're going. And more importantly, we're going to be giving away some vinyl records. So stay tuned for that. Um, Good to see you all who all's coming in. So this gent asked about the next record show in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and good question. Ironically, it's this Saturday, and that is at the Grapevine Convention Center. Early bird is at 8 a.m., and then the regular entrance is at 10 a.m. So anybody in the DFW area around wants to see it, that's where it is and when it is this Saturday at 8 a.m. I will definitely be there and hope to see you. It sounds like a lot of fun. Mungangu goo 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 goo. I like your picture there. Hey, all. Mr. Nick, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining today. Here's Brad. How you doing, bud? Hit that like button. Yeah, that's the old deal, right? Thanks, Nick. I always forget to say that. Hello, Arizona Mick. Good to see you. Novice, of course, is always here. Yeah, I hope to see you at the show. Yeah, please look for me. I'd love to meet up with you guys. It's a great thing. Kaja Gugu. Yeah, okay. Uh, Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. Brad's here. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that very much. A lot of guys saying hello to each other. That's great in the peanut gallery. I got 11 here. So, what is it? It's a number 4,000. It's just a number like anything else. But, it's good to celebrate milestones. I always say it's better than celebrating your tombstone. So for me, it's good. It makes me reflect some, I think, and that's really what I want to do a bit here. And I'm going to have on a few guests to discuss their contribution to helping me with the channel and thanking them. And then I'm going to have a little bit of a free for all, people coming in, and we're going to be working in some opportunities for you to win some vinyl as we do, like we did the last time at our 3,000 show as well. So it's all good. So everybody's getting seated, get a brewski, and so one of the funny things is to look back, on your original stuff. So I started my channel March 1st of 22, March 1st of 2022, and I started the channel partly because I had been on a group on Facebook called Second Chance Records, and that's how I met Armando Cordoso, who has started the Vintage Mio store in Waco, which we'll talk about. Hopefully, Armando can join us later. And I was doing auctions on there and meeting people, but there were a lot of questions, and I was able to answer a lot of these questions for people. So it started to be like I called it David's Music Corner, and I would have clinics on different things, stylus setups and turntable selections, equipment selections, best pressings. And Armando kind of said, you ought to do this a little more officially than that. So yeah. Who was also here for the 3K show? Yeah, it'd be good to know. But but the point is, it was really all about saying, hey, I've had some history with records for nearly at that point it was 55 years or so, over 55, and it was like, why can't I share some of that information and knowledge, and it helped me get back into vinyl even more, of course, which was a big part of that. So when I go back and I look, at some of these topics, early on, beyond my introduction, I was getting into selecting an audio system and helping with that, caring for your records and grading them, uh, evaluating releases. Does the pressing matter? That was really early. Now, Scott Wilson has a channel called The Pressing Matters. Uh, didn't know Scott at the time, but the pressing does matter. Start first shootout involved a MoFi with Cyndi Lauper's She's So Unusual, which was a silver label. Um, then I went back and did a top LPs of 72 at the time, looking back basically 50 years to what albums I liked the best. And maybe you could see in there, it was Steely Dan's Can't Buy a Thrill was my number one, which is an irony because then come full circle, meeting Chad at Acoustic Sounds Analog Productions, and then they did the Steely Dan catalog. So that's kind of a little bit of woo, kind of weird like that. Wow, that all came together. Uh, and knowing if you're a record collector and what it takes, or do you just ditch the hobby because it gets to you? Then I started having a few guests. I had G.I. Sanders, who's the owner of NTX Vinyl locally. He has a local store and he does great whatnot auctions, great gentleman. Hopefully he can join later as well. And then Doug Osbury, who is who has Big Love Vinyl, and then he's actually gone into a storefront more or less in his area subsequently to that. So, really getting in a few people who were, in fact, kind of pioneers in doing some vinyl. Of course, Armando was involved in this as a catalyst from the very beginning to me. I did a primer on selecting music sources for testing audio, which I shared with the audience what records or which CDs at the time, but which records I thought were the best to use to test equipment. And they were some that weren't, just a default Asia Steely Dan kind of a thing. There were some other ones I thought, like Paul Carrick's One Good Reason that you see right there in that photo. So, then, we got into the issue of the Michael Jackson record coming out on MoFi. And lo and behold, of course, that became part of the big drama that later on happened. Um, I got into looking at audiophile pressings, like that one is the Fleetwood Mac self-titled from MFSL. Then I took you on some journeys to Europe. This is part of how we got to be Audio Excursion after we were the sound of Safe and Sound Texas. And I reflected on those, show you what records I got, and talked about my experiences. Um, then I did one on the downfall of mobile fidelity. And this one was not about the digital. This was about, I think, a perspective that Michael 45 had about the jackets and the quality and whatever. And, although that's important, I was really trying to stress the value and quality of the sound of the music, which was the most important to me. Just another take at it. Then we talked about what I called the dirt about vinyl records, and that wasn't cleaning them. That was really just, what's the good, the bad, and the ugly about collecting records. I got into a MoFi shootout on Alan Parsons' Eye in the Sky with the MoFi in the speaker's corner. And then I did my first artist profile. And here's an irony I want to share with you. So this was really something I did because of my love of Karen Carpenter's voice. And I got some audio of isolation of her voice and put it in there. And really, it was really kind of a flashback emotionally to the day she died, because I remembered where I was, when that happened. And, that video started off very, very slowly. I mean, very few views because it was not my normal thing, but it was one of my favorite videos that I ever did, honestly, just because it felt very strong with me. And now you can see it has over 10,000 views, and that is partly because I've shared it out to some groups that are like a Karen Carpenter fan groups and things. But anyway, it just goes to show you sometimes the video you like best isn't always the one that makes it big, so to speak. Let me check your comments here while I'm goofing around. Okay, so just checking here. Would be cool to get a list of 74. Yeah, that's a good idea, Brad. Thanks. Sweden was great. Yeah, thanks. No, I appreciate that. That was fun for me. So, just beyond doing the Karen Carpenter thing, you can see what happened. We started with this thing about, is there digital in MoFi? That started to happen. So I remember, I think it was, there was a little buzz Michael 45 had, and then Mike Esposito. And I watched Mike's video, and I'll never forget. I was in the kitchen, and I said to my wife, I said, "Son of a gun, I can't believe this. If this is true." Um, and I went back then and I immediately recorded a video because I went and pulled back all the old MFSL, which is Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, the first company that they were before Music Direct bought them out after they went bankrupt in the late 90s. And I went back and pulled the materials out of the jackets that had all of the provenance and all of how they made the records and all of the detail of that. And I said, it's funny. I see over time those things have faded out and they've kind of disappeared, and even said, hey, they used to be half speed masters, and now they got out of even that, and then they never said anything about it. So my kind of suspicions were up a little bit there, but that was a big one. 11,000 views. Um, and that's where really things took off for the channel. As you can see, getting into the thousands of views. Again, the Karen Carpenter one took a long time to get to where it got. A lot of these MoFis, happened in the first few months of it. And then the next thing, providentially, is I got into acoustic sounds here with this episode 27, Behind the Scenes. And that particular one was because Chad had put a video out about his company and about what they do and how they do it. And I found it really interesting. And being in manufacturing, I took my reflection of that knowledge and talked about what I saw in the work that they were doing based on that video. Well, lo and behold, I contacted them, and Chad had seen this video and kind of got the feeling, yeah, I knew things about manufacturing. And we got together. I was able to go up there on August 30th to 22. So yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. And that really started a great thing for me. But that's kind of how it got started. That's how it got started. You can see I was doing other videos in here, um, about mobile fidelity. I even got the thing about, I made a comment about Will Smith and making an apology, that thing with Chris Rock, and will there be an apology coming, kind of that kind of a thing. And then I got hold of Kai Seaman, who is the owner of Speaker's Corner, and had an interview with him. Really interesting to get a sense of what the reissue companies are going through to try to get material. The MoFi thing kind of continued a bit, as it was really a theme for a while there. Um, then I got into my Beatle passion and how much I like it, and sharing my Beatles collection, especially looking at the blue box Japanese. Uh, I forget what it's called, but it's like a wooden crate looking box, and then of course the MoFi. So that was interesting to do. Um, and again, MoFi always was going in the mix here for a while. Then I started to talk about mixing and how things are done with recording, and started really getting into shootouts. I started really getting into those. And after I started those again, then, Chad and I had met, and I got these, took about 6 weeks from when I first called to get the actual visit, and had quite a few videos on that with Chad, which was obviously very interesting to me, and I think to the channel to a large degree. And then got into some things about the Queen passing and British music and what that meant to me. Talked a little bit about Christian music because that was something in my life. And those didn't get a lot of views, obviously. And then I had a visit with Dr. Tony Shore, who he was in the Christian music business actually at one time. And he joined us subsequently for a Yes shootout because he knows some members of the band of Yes, and we talked about that. But But then we got into the big thing and the Analog Productions announcement of Steely Dan, which was a real boon to me, of course, as it related to that. Um, and whether or not, all the catalog was going to come out and Chad's announcement. Then we started to compare UHQRs and Ultra Disc one steps. Um, Talked about the word audiophile and what's going on. Um, and the Washington Post article, which was the search for perfect sound. And this, I think, was partly involved with what was going on with the MoFi thing and Mike Esposito as well. Then a really interesting thing for me personally, because I talked about music and the fact that we can relate time to it. We can say, I remember that song. I remember where I was. I remember the words. I don't know where I put my keys 5 minutes ago, but I know what that was. So I got into kind of the mental side and how we process information and store it related to music. And that was, to me, something I've always wanted to share because I've done a lot of reading on it. Then we got into the big name change of the channel, which I got vilified for because the idea was to supposedly make it shorter. And it really, for me, was really to not have that repeating sound of Safe and Sound Texas. I always wanted to have Safe and Sound Texas in there because that's my LLC. So I never intended to dump it anyway. So doing that, getting some ideas sent from people, talking to some close friends at the time on what they thought, and that's where we came up with Audio Excursion. So there were some graphic changes in the provenance chain from MoFi that they were making in their pictorial that was coming online and nobody was really noticing it, but I had been capturing their pages and storing them and then comparing them. And so they were kind of slowly making changes in the background. And that's what I was discussing there. And then we talked about the MoFi shootout for Donald Fagen. And this was not the one step. This was their standard release. And that was all I had at the time. And it did very well at the time, but we did another shootout later with Vinyl Rush Brad. So we got the name change and all that good stuff and more shootouts, of course. Did some entries into contests, of course. We talked to Shad again about, releases, how they box things, what their quantity limits are, how the business works from that perspective. So there was a little more meat from Chad's side that we got into. And then the actual interview then with Kai Siemens on the Speaker's Corner channel to talk about the actual issues he's having, being able to, bring new reissues to the markets. Then the big one, episode 59, was the Steely Dan Can't Buy a Thrill first release, which I was thrilled with. And it really blew the doors off, in my opinion. Did a few more Beatles, videos, and did one called Spin the Spectrum, which is for kids that are autistic or Downs. I have a special needs child, and how music has helped them, and how the setup they have for kids to be able to get into doing mixing and production and stuff with music that really helps them and keeps them really focused. So it was really interesting, as was my visit here with Susan Rogers, who's Prince's audio engineer. And that interview with her was interesting because she is also into the idea of music and the psychoanalysis of music. The Jackson MoFi came out next and did a shootout on that, and we got to the end of 2022. Then we compared the SACD as well on the Jackson. Did some other videos. I'm going to slide through these, but it just shows kind of the journey, like the CSN one step and this. That was a stinker, actually, if I remember right. And luckily, the Couch album there, the Analog Productions Atlantic 75th, fixed that. But at the time, we didn't really have a great version of it, Then I got into some of the legal case surrounding MoFi. And a lot of people told me, stop it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I hear you. Some people did. So I stuck with it as long as there was anything new to report. So for those who weren't interested, sorry, but it was something that I thought I had to kind of lean into a bit because I was, in fact, getting good information. I had some really good contacts and info on the legal side that I was able to bring to the channel. More shootouts, of course. My trip to Spain, which was really great. I shared with you all a early mix of the Dark Side of the Moon, which was originally mixed to be in quad. A lot of people don't realize that, and it was the early mix of it. Sounds different in some areas, for sure. If you haven't seen that one, and I think there's a download link in that as well. Um, then we got through public relations discussions about the way Analog Productions handled things and MoFi handled things. I thought that was relevant to talk about. And then we got to the one steps for Hotel California coming out, for example. That was a great one, actually, for, I thought. So not everything in MoFi was a problem. That's for sure. Um, 50th anniversary of Dark Side, which I didn't think was that great, actually. I think the 30th is probably the best US release, at least, for sure. I was asking about the MoFi plant because it was kind of delayed and it finally did start early this year. But back then in 23, it was late, as was VMP's. So again, there's my RL video of Nick, the one that I got in Europe for 40 euros, which is about $42, VG Plus. So that was a great thing to have. And my next video after that was my Sergeant Pepper UHQR. And why this one is so relevant to me is this is the video that the person in Houston saw that had a Beatles collection and didn't realize they were going for that much. And so he contacted me, and subsequently, that's how Brad and I got some Beatle records and some other records from them several times on several trips. Got a few for some other people like Nick as well. I think his maybe was Yellow Submarine. So, it's you make these friends and it really extends itself. Brad, of course, was Paramount here going back to the Fleetwood Mac here. Brad loaned me a Ken Dunn version of that, and that was how he and I had connected as well. So a lot of these connections are through people who loan me a version to do a shootout with. So this is, the history and the life of the channel. A little bit of controversy, a little bit of rock and roll, a lot of rock and roll. But here's your first Rhino with the Cars, which was fantabulous, right? And then someone sent me the 2x45 of a Fleetwood Mac self-titled, and I did that. So these are how these relationships start through the channel. So not to belabor this, but it really shows me. And here's Roger Simsey, Roger Nicholson's daughter. It was in touch with her last week. She's doing really, really well, and they're starting a museum for him outside of Nashville. I'll be bringing you some info on that as well. So, this is how the channel has grown in different ways. Talked to Kevin Gray about the Captain and Me because he had done the Speaker's Corner, and then the Rhino came out, and he didn't even have notes from the Speaker's Corner because he started taking notes in 2008, and the Speaker's Corner was released in 2007. So just interesting things, that happen across the time, of the channel. Lots of shootouts. My love for Stop Making Sense, the album and the movie. Talking about quadraphonic, love quadraphonic records, have a lot of them, have a receiver that does that. So just a lot of things going on, just thinking that Thing You Do getting released on vinyl officially, that was a big deal. The Who had a bunch of Who's. Look at that list there. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 copies in this shootout. Crazy. That's just it. And here was a spoofer of showing a UHQR of Buckingham Nicks over here. So I thought that was kind of funny to do. So anyway, a lot of great memories. Cartridge update, system updates, and things like that. My receiver that I had to get reworked. Just a lot of great things. And one I'll mention here because I'm going to show this record in a second here is, and it may have been Alive with Jerome. I'm trying to remember Jerome Sabah, who is starting a new label. And I just got to see where it's at here. There it is, Analog Tone Factory. There's Jerome on the left there. I just got his record that he just released. Let me share that with you. I'll take this off. How's everybody doing out there? All right, great. Vinyl Latte, how you doing? Great. So here is the test pressing of Jerome Sabah's new album Heart, which is being released in August. But this is a test pressing. I got purchased through him. I paid online, I think $100 like anybody else would, just so you know, for David and the Safe and Sound Texas audio excursion. And he signed it, of course. So this is this will be a memento for me from someone who started a new label, who I was made aware of by a really good friend who I've met through the vinyl community and has put me in touch with some people like that. So, my record, yeah. So, thanks, KRWD. I appreciate it. Yeah. So it has been a journey, and you all, most of you all have been part of it. And I'm going to bring on to the show a few people who have also been pretty instrumental, no pun intended, in the channel and in helping me personally, do what I do and get to where I got, and have taught me the ropes a bit, on some things. And, and you have to be thankful and humble for that because you can't do it on your own. That's for sure. And I see one of the gents in the peanut gallery just joining. If you're ready to go, give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you. All right. So here we go. Hi, Steve.
How's it going, David? Congratulations on 4,000. I said it in the comments. I said, let's get to 8,000 now. It should only take one more year. Just going through all that, what a journey you've had. I mean, this is just a hobby. And I know you and I started really, you really contacted me right when you didn't have any subscribers. I mean, you were at like
Very
ground
family
zero.
and friends.
You were at ground zero. I mean, you're at the PayPal family and friends version at that point. So, I mean, it's nice to see it grow, and it's nice to see your, see your journey in the hobby as well. No, it's really cool, and I appreciate you having me first on for the 4,000 the Celly. I love it. Love this. But we have a lot in common too. I mean, we've got, lots of kids. So, I mean, our hobby, has to skirt around working for a living, our family life, that type of thing. So, I mean, we've talked about that many times sort of in private before. So,
Yep.
and I also wanted to say, like, I think, I know probably some of your viewers have seen the audiophile roundtable that I hosted. And you were, I think the second guest I ever had on. You and I did like just the two of us for I think our second show ever. So that was pretty cool. I think it was like a Beatles show or a Beatles. I'd have to go back. I can't remember exactly. You might be able to remember more, but I mean, I think that was,
I don't. Slept a few times since.
I know it's funny. You do all these videos. I mean, you're looking at some of this stuff, and I remember.
Well, that's what happened. Yeah, just now, even for me, it was like, I
Well, I mean,
remember that.
the MoFi thing really, I mean, I think really
Oh,
got a boost for a lot of people on YouTube doing these
sure.
things. And I mean, I know, I guess obviously I knew a lot more that was going on than most people with that whole DSD thing. But I mean, we talked in private, prior to all this happening. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
it was an interesting time. I mean, going back to MoFi, I honestly, the last MoFi I've purchased is the Michael Jackson Thriller. I have not gotten a MoFi since, like a brand new MoFi.
Mhm.
Interesting, eh? I don't know.
I got, I can't remember if I think, I don't know if Hotel California came out after it. I think it did. I got that one.
Yeah, I did.
But there were, like, I had the whole Van Halen catalog on order just because that was kind of what you did at the time. It was just, you and then, I had to think twice about it, at
Well,
that
I'm
point.
at that point, right after the whole DSD gate, that whole FOMO thing sort of just subsided, in my eyes, because it sort of came COVID started going down, FOMO, everything. We sort of got out of the closet and started getting out of our houses again, going to see concerts and buying these records that we were so wanting to buy, because one, we thought they're analog because they were MoFi, and everyone was buying them, so I had to too, right? I mean, I would have jumped off the bridge if you did, just to get some of these, considered pure analog one steps, which turned out to be not. So I mean, yeah, interesting times. And I mean, I love the journey that you have and the passion for it. I mean, it shows in all the videos. I mean, what you're doing, and you've diversified too. We just didn't keep it's not just Steely Dan. It's not just Michael Jackson. I mean, you got into
Mhm.
some Christian music. I mean, you got into some interviews with, people that most of the community haven't heard of. And you jumped into that, which I thought was really cool. And, I've watched obviously a lot of your videos the last few years, right. And kept close with
Thank
you.
you.
So really
Yeah,
nice to see
sure.
that. Really nice to see, continuing on. I mean, you've had an incredible journey yourself. I mean, in terms of music, since what, you were 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
pretty
Yeah.
cool to see. So I mean, me being able to be part of this, the first one on for the 4,000. Like,
Yeah.
let's get to 8. You got to, think about what
Yep.
you did. Think about what you did to get to 4. Now you got to replicate that to get to 8.
Yep. Well, I've got some surprises coming, and I'm expanding kind of my scope a bit. And as my work commitments loosen up and lighten, it's going to be even easier to do that. So
See, I'm on the exact opposite spectrum of you. So my work commitments, in the last couple of years have gone like this, not the other way. So it's
I know the
become
feeling.
harder and harder and harder when you're juggling. Okay, I've got this hobby. I'm passionate about music and all this, right? Then you have family, you got activities. I mean, we've got baby showers. You got all this stuff that's been going on. It's been a lot harder to listen to music and, you do a show. So I mean, to you to be
Yeah.
able to focus more on it, that's great. I mean, getting more content out there to the vital community is pretty cool. But I mean, it's been great. And I mean, I'm looking at the comments right now. Everyone's
Yeah.
pretty jacked up, David, for
Yeah.
4K, man. This is huge.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, somebody had a question for you. What'd you think of the MoFi Thriller?
It was okay. I felt it was a little poppy and soft though, and I know KRW. I think I've spoken
Yeah.
with him on my show before. It was okay. I mean, I've got the original Canadian Thriller CD that I got back in
Mm,
whatever year that was, '83, right? And that was, of course, mastered by Bernie Grunman. And I'll tell you, that's phenomenal. I mean, that's the way I've heard it and the way I've
yep.
always heard it. So yeah, I've
I
had the
yeah, I
cassette
did a
before. I mean, so
I
it's
did a
okay.
video I did a
It's
video on the CD versus the SACD, and I thought the CD was better. It's almost like, the original stuff is really dance, could feel it, and the other was kind of clinical, as I would call it. And it just didn't feel the same at all to me.
I'd say that would sort of be my observation, if I was to articulate it that way, for sure. I mean, I think too, I think I talked about this on one of my shows. I have a lot of sentimental bias, especially when we're dealing with reissues. So it's like, you know a sound a certain way. And I mean, the
Oh yeah.
In Excess Kick album is a prime example for me. Someone that's, was really close to, watching the band live, getting all their albums, and really following them, having the original, let's say '87 Kick album, and then getting, the reissue by Miles Scholl, the Abbey Road one, of course the AP one, and other ones. It's hard to it's really hard to decipher, and really, because you have your heart set on that one just because of the sound. So what's going on?
He Concert buddy. He said, "I've been bumped for Westman again." No, actually, Concert Buddy does his on Thursdays, and I actually did this on a Wednesday, not to be a Thursday, and then he's not having a show tomorrow night, so it's
And
like,
I have a show tomorrow night. So there you go.
yeah, so it's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
No, but
Thanks,
again,
David.
congratulations. You got some great viewers there. Happy for you. And I mean, it shows, right? You've
Yeah,
put in a lot of work. The passion shows as well. And I mean,
yeah,
that's what's needed in the vinyl community. I mean, it's great to
yeah,
see, and you're on point with it, right? You're putting in the work, and I think that's what comes off in your videos when your viewers are watching it. They see the passion or hear the passion, and that's what drives them back. And I mean, you're diversifying your portfolio. So I mean, I was in the investment business for 25 years. So I mean, you're
yeah,
not just
there
a
you
one
go.
trick one. You're not just Bank of America. I mean, you're diversified amongst, all all different types. But no, it's nice to see.
Well, having like having Brad who's doing shootouts with me now and being able to do them more blinded is also just another gradient of improvement. You know, that's very helpful. So
Well,
we'll
I
see.
mean, I've mentioned that before. I mean, honestly, the
Yeah,
shootout thing is just subjective to you. Everyone on here that's watching today, we've got 27 watching. It's like everyone might have their own opinion, their own setup, their own way they want to hear it. And I mean, it's good. It's Bank of America, boo, his. See that comment there? I just made that comment. I could have said Chase or something like that.
yeah,
I'm just thinking an obscure bank. I don't know. I'm
yeah.
Canadian. I don't even know the American banks, but I mean, that's fine. Yeah. But no, I mean, for me, a lot of the time, I mean, I got reissues, and it's sometimes hard to sort of, okay, should I like this one because it's a reissue and it was mastered by Kevin Gray, and pressed it QRP, so it has to be the best. And you hear these, you read these articles, you see the videos, all this stuff. So there's a lot of bias that goes in when we watch this as viewers as well from everyone. So, and I know probably a lot of people will agree with me. It's definitely something that I think is part of it. And I think it's fun though too. I mean, I like to get everyone's hear everyone's opinions. It doesn't really persuade me one way or the other to buy the record, right? It's just like,
Sure.
okay, I'm going to buy it if I want it. I mean, I for instance, I never bought the UHQR Can't Buy a Thrill. I have the Speaker's Corner. I have an original. I like the sound of it. I actually bought the which one, the UMG one that came out,
Yeah, the $30 one or
the
whatever it is.
$30 one. Alan Brush mastered that one, and I thought it was fabulous. I thought it was really really good. And again, for the price, $30. And if someone like a younger generation is trying to get into Steely Dan, has a record
Oh
player,
yeah,
I mean, that's the record to buy for $30. You mean you can't go wrong with it.
yeah. No, yeah, and he's got the Bernie mastered that and he gave it on digital tape. I mean that's digital format, high res. So it's
So
he's
I
still got
mean, so
good
so what?
mastering
And
engineer.
so think about it. What you're probably, Bernie's mastering of the UHQR, that it would be the same mastering that was given to the file that Elena Brust gets, and he would just do whatever adjustments he would do on his, and then cut it to vinyl. I mean, that's pretty much what it is, right? So I mean, Bernie would still have a lot to do with. I can hear my
Yeah,
dog barking, but
that's
he'll
okay.
still have a lot to do with with that mastering.
Yeah. Well, he has some variables he can put through the cut, the lacquer cut and what have you. But yeah, the basic file, yeah, that's where he's coming from.
And
But
I actually I think I did a video about that as well. And I got a lot of flack about that, because I mean, a lot of master engineers, when if they know they have to do a digital cut as well from the analog tape, they're gonna basically record it at the same time when they're mastering it for analog and also for
mhm,
digital. So then they have a copy of that, then to give, then to cut if they wanted to, or to give that file to whoever. So I think I even said, I bet you that's what Bernie did in this situation. So I haven't been, it hasn't been, I think that's what happened. I haven't been able to prove it either way, but it makes a lot
yeah,
of sense. Why would you then run the tapes again, master it again for a digital file, then to give to Elena Brush? I think it was all done at the same time, recorded for digital, that file given to a Brush, he cut it. There's the UMG file, the UMG cut. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
much how I would bet it. I mean, I could be 100% wrong, but it makes a
Well, the
lot of
difference
sense.
with the analog productions, of course, is Bernie does a cut, from whatever he started with the tape, and then gives it to Chad test pressing, and then Chad's the one who's going, I
Was
like
it
this, I don't like that.
Was it Can't Buy a Thrill that Chad? It took him 5 times before one of them will have number
6
five
or
on
s there
on
was no,
on
that
the
has an
dead
RE
wax.
it has an RE6, so that means 7 times
So
on one
7
side,
times on
on
one
one
side. I
side.
remember
Yep,
I remember talking to Michael Fremer about this,
yep,
before Can't Buy a Thrill came out, and he said, "Yeah, he wants it a certain way, and
yeah,
it's still going." So
it
that means, think about that. That means they ran the tapes 7 times minimum just to get that sound that Chad wanted.
yep. No, I know, and they ran the process to cut the lacquer, to plate it, to make a test record, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, and I mean, I will say, and I mean, a lot of your folks probably saw the Steve Hoffman interviews I've done, and even Hoffman said like he thinks Chad has a great ear. He really does. Maybe not what he agrees with, but he did come out and say, Steve
mhm,
Hoffman said, that he thinks Chad has a great ear. I mean, he reviewed the Age of UHQR, and his preference, I think you remember, was the Cisco, right? So yeah, kind of
mhm.
interesting. What's this music in the house? What are they saying?
are people not really caring about the tape degradation over time? Yeah, when they recut a 50-year-old album from a tape, it's lost some magnetic quality. Well, yeah, every time you play it, I mean, that's just the reality of the physics of it, right? There's no way around it.
Yeah. So go to
Mhm.
go to Caesar there. I can probably answer some of that.
What happened to the next? Oh, well, just stay tuned here for a few minutes. Stay tuned.
So sorry, I didn't catch your opening.
I
So
think
stay tuned.
he's
Why?
but because of I did it. I talked to Chad this afternoon. I've got a tape of it that I'm going to roll and play here in a
Of
minute.
the next UHQR?
Yeah, it's going to give a little more insight, yeah, to it. But
Well,
there wasn't a new. Oh, I don't know about the Rhino Hi-Fi.
well,
Maybe
well,
asking you that.
I'm probably. I mean, going back to the UHQR. I mean, are we talking the Bill Evans or something after that?
And you say 11? What do you mean? I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no. So you probably didn't hear me. Something after the Bill Evans ones that came out, or
Yes.
okay, yeah.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm aware of which ones they are, and I think people will be really excited about those. I think there's one or two new UHQRs coming out, so I think
It should be two this year. Yeah.
two this year, and it's a band, right? So I mean, it's going to
Yeah.
be. I think people will be really excited about it, and I think there'll be a lot of sales. That's what I think.
Yeah.
When are they? And also, wasn't there a new Rhino Hi-Fi? If you want to put it back there for one
Yeah.
second,
Sure.
there is. That's coming out. I think I don't know that it's on a Friday, so it's middle of August. It'll come out middle of August. So whatever the middle of August, so that Friday, middle of August is, I think that's the date. So why I want to say August 17th, I'm probably wrong because I'm just really just guessing. So I'll just go to my calendar. I can
I
probably
think
tell
it's
you
the
right now.
16th. I think it'd be the 16th.
Yeah, so there you go. So then, okay, so what it will be, it's not going to be a 45 RPM and it's not going to be a double album, just so everyone knows, but it is a rock band and there's a big twist to it. And I
And
think,
were you talking about Rhino or are you talking about Chad?
I'm
Just so
talking
I
about
know.
Rhino. I'm talking about
Okay.
August. So August 16th should be the date. 5,000 will be pressed and it's definitely not 45 RPM.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. Well, we will. Hey, there's Tim from University of Vinyl.
I've heard
How
of
you
him.
doing?
I've heard of him before a few times. He likes Steely Dan a bit.
Oh, oh man, tell me. Yeah, we were up in Colorado in his area, but unfortunately he was
We gotta get rid of that joke already. It's already old. The chubby checker with a twist. I've heard that a million
yeah.
times. No.
What did
Well,
yeah,
anyone
there you go.
people should guess. We should get a guessing game of which two UHQRs that will be coming out this year, what they think it will be, and what the Rhino will be. I will say the Rhino is a band. That's what I'll say.
Rhino is a band. It doesn't have any of this, 74 thing like last time, right? None of that kind of construct. Because it threw me last time.
It's a band. Everyone's heard of the
Man.
band. Everyone's heard of the band. They've got more than one hit.
Oh, that's good.
It's not
So it won't
Vanilla
be
Ice, Ice
Starland
Ice.
vocal.
It's not Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice or anything weird like that. He's got a little bit of They've been around. They've made some money.
They've made some money. Good deal. Let's see what this one is here.
Well, it's Matthew. Hi, Matthew. I like Matthew's videos.
Yeah.
I think they're really well done and really produced well, and I really enjoy his take on stuff. So definitely check out Matthew's channel, guys, if you haven't. It's really
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah. That's true. Malsario Sonic. Check him out.
Boom.
So Chick Corea Trilogy box. Hadn't
Good
seen
old
that.
good old Chick. Rest in peace, Chick. I think he
Yeah.
passed. Did he pass early this year or late last year? It was not that
Uh,
long back, was it?
it
I
might
mean,
have
you
been
can Google. You can Google it. I mean,
yeah.
but I mean, I'm just, as we'll pretend, David, that we're talking like we're in the '80s. We don't have Google, so we just have to
We
rely on our brain.
what
Oh
what
my
did
god.
we do?
Oh my
Ah,
god.
poor guys that used to sell encyclopedias, they got nothing to do now.
I feel sorry for those guys. I mean, they were making a fortune before Google came around, and then damn, what happened?
Yeah, you actually had to read.
Well, you still got to read with Google. You got to just
Yeah.
type certain things in.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, more research, I guess I would say, to get it in your lap a little easier
Well,
nowadays.
that's funny too, and I know I've chatted about this on my show. It's like when I started following the Beatles, I didn't know there was a Butcher's album. I didn't know there's different UK cuts versus Capitol cuts versus all this that was going on. I had all these Capitol cuts, Canadian cuts. I thought those were the ones. All of a sudden, I buy this Beatles book that was North American. It was, I can't remember the name of it, and I'm like, oh, there's a butcher's cover on this with these dead babies on there. That is interesting. So, David, if you look here in my wall, I had to get one eventually. So this is pre-internet. I have this. This is my butcher's cover, and that's of course, that's I didn't ever want to, try to get. You can pay someone to actually take that off and get the actual underneath if you wanted to. I think
Sure.
we wanted like three
Oh,
hundred
yeah.
bucks. I think it's
Oh,
more valuable like this because then there'd be less and less that are actually original that haven't been that cover hasn't been taken off. So I mean, yeah, that was before. I mean, looking at some of the Beatles. Oh, it's 2021 already. Okay, I knew it was.
that's what
Wow.
COVID does. You can't remember what year it
Yeah, you know
was.
what it was. There you go. But yeah, there you go. You got it, Matthew. You got a
Not a
sub. See?
sub.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I mean that's the thing. I mean, I didn't know much about the Beatles in terms of okay, I knew they had albums. I didn't realize there was different track listings, David, for Rubber
Yeah.
Soul. There's different
Yeah.
songs there. I'm like, it's just and then with Yesterday and Today, that's the songs that weren't released on the Capitol records, right? So I mean, I didn't know. I mean, there's so much you didn't know, and I'm like, whoa. And I started my Beatles journey. I was 10 or 11 years old with the Revolver album. I thought that was the most incredible thing. I had $20 for my allowance. I lived in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I went minus 30 downtown on the bus by myself, saw this Revolver album. I knew about the Beatles, of course. I'm like, man, I got to get this. And I still have it today. It's an original mono Canadian cut. I got it for, I think it was like $10. Still have it.
Well, here's my really short story. When I went to buy the Beatles album that had the butcher cover, I bought it as a butcher cover, took it home. My mom saw it. She broke the record, ripped
Boom.
the cover, threw it in the trash, and that was the end of. I mean, I had to sneak Beatles stuff in the house after that. So, so that's how I knew about it because she saw it, and I just bought it because it was a Beatles album.
Yeah.
But
Man,
you,
pretty soon, Matthew Blaserio Sonic's going to be doing his 4,000 sub show after today. Look at this. Way to go,
yeah,
Matthew. I can hardly wait to come on that one next. That'll be great.
there you go. Let's keep them coming.
There you are. That's awesome.
That's good. That's what these things are good for. So, well, Steve, you were really instrumental in getting me started, helping me, and I won't forget it. I appreciate it very much.
Well,
Really do.
I remember the conversations we had on my lunch break when I was working, right? So I mean, you're like,
Yeah,
Steve, I got to talk to you about this, and I mean, I can vaguely remember
yeah.
our
He
conversation.
made time for me,
I
guys. That
don't
was
I don't
so
even
nice
I
of
don't
him.
I mean, I think I remember my first time I chatted with him on the phone. I remember hanging up and I'm like, I don't think I helped him out at all. I feel like I just was a babbling idiot. So I'm like, whoa, because I'm like, I don't know. I mean, but I
Little
think
nuggets.
I
You
don't know,
gave me
little.
those little nuggets.
Yeah, you would remember. I don't, but it was no, it
Yeah,
was fun. But it's been for all of us, right? That a part of the vinyl community, and I mean, I recognize a lot of the same names that come on the round table. I mean, you guys are great, and I mean, I will say thank you to everyone that follows yourself or myself or the other channels. Amazing. And I mean, it keeps us going too, and in the conversation. And I mean, just like you, I'm sure you get a lot of private texts and emails from viewers, which I do, and I really think it's cool, and I'm very flattered by it all. I'm just like, wow. It's a really
yeah,
cool thing. This damn internet thing, David. Who would have thought you and I'd be talking today because of the internet? I mean, it's so interesting. So here we
yeah.
are.
Across the world, across
But
the world.
you know what? You have Canadian roots, and you got to
I
say, I
do.
mean, there it is. You got the Canadian blood in you. So there you go.
100%. Yeah, no doubt. That's true. Well, again, thanks very much for taking the time. I appreciate you slotting a few minutes for me.
All right. Well, have a good one, guys. Thank you for having me. And
Thanks,
again,
Steve.
congratulations. Amazing on the accomplishment. Now, the pressure's on for 8,000. You know what?
Yeah.
No, not 8,000. You got to think bigger than that. You got to go 10,000.
Yeah, I
Boom.
got to go to five.
10.
Yeah, 5 digits. Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Thanks,
Have a
buddy. Take care.
wonderful evening. All right. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
God bless. See you. Bye bye. Okay. So there he is. That is Steve Westman, a good guy. I got another good guy that just showed up. Armando.
Holy smokes, David, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, like you're next door.
Live from Waco, Texas.
There he is, Mr. Waco.
Oh, David, I just want to say Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. You were there at the beginning. You were the pre-beginning.
Yeah,
You were
it's
before I ever had the channel. So
there you go. It's what is it? How many followers do you have now?
I got 4,000 subscribers,
Dear Lord,
and
and grow.
yeah, yeah, lots of 475,000 views, I think. So yeah, it's nice.
Now, did
I
you
got
share with everyone how how hard you worked in the beginning and like some of those obstacles that you had when you were starting? You remember that?
my technical ones, or
No, just in general. I just remember. I'm going to tell the story. So
go ahead.
so
I
I
see you
knew.
guys in backstage. I'll get right to you guys. Go ahead, Rondo.
I think what was the struggle to get 100 people in there, and
Yeah,
and and I just knew in general that David Bianco. For those who don't know who David Bianco is, everyone knows who David Bianco is. You are just one of the nicest guys, wealth of knowledge, and he just has an it factor when it comes to streaming. And didn't understand why you only had what 100 followers in like a month or something like that.
yeah. I got anybody I knew in my family.
Yeah, because what a lot of people don't know is that we were in like the same group, the Second Chance Records group, and
You guys,
you were always just helping people with like music stuff and tech stuff, and there was a point early in your YouTube video career that you had to make a decision whether to come out with the MoFi scandal.
oh yeah. Oh
And
well, just happened.
that's right. And you made a decision not to listen to me. And because of it,
Jason.
what happened, David?
Yeah, well, yeah. I had to go with my gut.
And all of a sudden, what do you have, like
Yeah,
10 or
I,
15,000 views on that? That was amazing.
yeah. I was offended as anybody at the time. It was like I didn't. It's funny. I was offended as a person that started with them, and I had a platform, and that was what was kind of odd. So, but I want to welcome before we could get to my next piece, Ron Beaudry. Thank you, my friend. It's great to see you.
Great to see
Really,
you too. So
yeah.
happy to
Thank
be here and wish you a happy 4,000 and let's get up there to 6, 7, 8, 10 quick.
Yeah, thanks. But Vinyl Rush Brad, of course, or Brad Vinyl Rush, whatever you want to call him.
Just the Rush guy.
Just a Rush guy. He's a Rush no matter what you do.
Yeah,
And Jason Rojas, thanks for joining.
Hey, Jason.
Congratulations, David. Hey,
Thanks.
guys.
How are you? How are you feeling? Okay.
Yeah. Much
Good.
better.
Great. Glad to hear that. That's super. Yeah. So these are some gents that have been supporters of the channel as well. And I got Concert Buddy who's coming up now.
Holy
Hey!
smokes. I
There
thought
he
I
is.
was being held back. I see you
No,
letting
they
all these guys up here, and I'm
I had to-
backstage.
I
This
had to
is
scroll. I didn't see. I had to scroll. These small screens.
unbelievable. Armando, I can't believe this. This guy was holding me back. Come on.
Hey, Concert Buddy, how are you?
Good,
Hey,
good.
Jason.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Brad and Ron. I get to meet Ron. This is cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Armando.
So how's it going, Chance?
Well, I hate to say it, but I got roped into a live stream right before this. Poor Rob at Northern Revolutions had nobody, and of course he called me.
Oh, boy.
Live stream vomit, and I just came from there. So I probably ruined that show too.
No, my goodness.
Come
We
on.
were talking about Nickelback lyrics, so you can imagine how powerful that presentation was.
Wow.
Talking about, getting 4,000 subs and how hard it is to do. But you look, there's some really successful folks. You got Michael 45, you got Mazzy. They put a video out every week, twice a week. It's consistently always putting out content. That's how you build your channel. There's no secret to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't do it as much as I'd like to, but I'm trying to change that. But you're right.
But this is how you do it. It's not a secret. Yeah.
Yeah. Part of the mojo. That's for sure. So I've got to see if this StreamYard will it let me have 6 and show a video at the same time? Chance, do you know?
Good question. I think
We're gonna find out, I guess.
think so. I mean, let's break it. Let's break the system
Let's try
until you know.
All right, so let me get ready here. So
You have to
earlier
start paying for
today,
StreamYard, then you won't have to ask that question.
you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
David, you're monetized. What do you do with all this ginormous wealth from your YouTube fortune?
My what?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking
I'm picturing you like Scrooge McDuck swimming in the coins and just counting that YouTube paper. I mean, that's not how it works.
I have made $1,360.05 since March of 22.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
just totally transparent. That's what
That's
I've
probably
made.
that's probably as much as I've made. Yeah.
Come on, Ron.
That's a few you
I mean,
extra
I
dollars,
might get $100 every 2 months. That's about what I get because I don't
Yeah,
do
that's
videos. But when I'm making regular videos, of course, you can get maybe $200 in a month or something. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. You've got to be getting those 50,000 views, and that's when you start
yeah.
getting a little bit of pocket change. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do, guys and gals, is show a video. I asked Chad Kassem to join me. He had commitments this evening, but we talked this afternoon, and I
Very
want to
cool.
share with the video and listen to some info he's going to share with you in this video. So let's hope it works. Well, here's a special surprise. I've
Very
asked
good.
Chad Kassem to join me
Your
just
guy?
to say hello and to thank him for everything he's done to help the channel. How you doing, Chad?
Pretty good, Dave. I want to congratulate you on your big 4,000, man. That's a lot of names and a lot of viewers, and appreciate what you do, and look forward to your videos.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah, congratulations. Here's to the next 4,000.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Well, certainly your organization has provided a lot of great material for me to listen to and to shoot out, obviously. I was mentioning to Chad, a lot of people, it's gotten to be more, will share their records with me to do shootouts, some version I might not have a copy of. And every time they come, and one came today, and here it is, it's an Acoustic Sounds box, of course. I mean, you talk about somebody adding something to the industry, those boxes, everybody, uses them. So, man, I remember one of the things that caught me and how I met you was when I did that video on manufacturing. I talked about the fact that you had a packaging engineer and how you really looked at the best way to secure these records, and how, that's really thinking outside the box, no pun intended. And
Well,
you
I
know,
mean, listen, we were getting tired of, it seemed like FedEx and UPS and the USPS they're getting rougher by the day. And we're just getting tired of people getting their, corners dinged. And we're like, finally, we had enough was enough. And we put it, and the guy that designs our box is an audiophile. He's a customer.
oh, cool.
So that certainly helped motivate him to come up with something. And so, no, we like seeing. We also, a lot of our customers hold on to the suitcase boxes. You know what I mean?
I've got them. Yeah, we get those as well. Yeah, I've just had the last one was that. Yeah, I've got tons of them in my storage. When I moved, my wife's always saying, "Aren't you going to throw these things away?" And I'm like, "Hell no, no
Yeah,
way."
I've got a lot of customers show me their pile of them, and they're too good to throw away because, like, if you go to a hi-fi show, you can bring the records. They're going to be protected. And then that one time, FedEx ran over your box. Oh no, they put it in your pathway, and you ran over
garage. Yeah, that actually happened twice.
Oh, no kidding.
No kidding. And the record survived. The first one actually was worse. I mean, I went right over it, and and they had a little crinkle in the cover, but other than that, they survived. But and it's funny because recently another labels come out with some hi-fi stuff and really great products and all, but they've been having some issues with packaging, and we've all seen that. So it seems like a small thing, but then when you experience it, all of a sudden you realize, we take it for granted with you guys. So I really want to acknowledge it, because it's just, how it is. You get used to something and you don't think of the value in it, but then when you have,
I know I complain when something's wrong, and I try to remember, hey, I'm the first to complain. I need to remember to thank people when they do something right.
right.
That's right.
But you don't have to thank me, because we get thanked every day just by not having to replace things. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So
Yeah.
it's
That's a great example in my mind of from a business perspective. People say something is a cost. Well, sometimes it's an investment in a way that your cost
oh yeah,
avoidance.
those boxes. Not only are they not cheap, we have to assemble each one of them. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, I could
Yep.
tell.
Yeah.
That Domino's commercial with the
Yeah.
fastest vodka. Well, we don't have him here, okay? And he couldn't do these as fast as those Domino's boxes.
Yeah,
But we have to assemble them, and they take a lot of space.
sure.
But anyway, well, we appreciate you, doing the shootouts, and it's funny. Before the whole, 3 years ago,
Yep.
people weren't really shooting out their records. They were just assuming that if a record sounded good, it was better than the original.
Right.
And we always wanted people to shoot out, because we know, how our sausage is made and how it stacks up against, because we use the original to make our decisions.
Sure.
A lot of
Yeah.
times it's easy to beat. Sometimes it's a little harder, and sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
But our worst case scenario, ours are a bit better. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
sometimes it's a matter of taste. Like some people like kind of rolled off and
Yeah.
warm and rolled off and easy on your ear. You tend to, your ear likes a warm, smooth sound, but a lot of times that warm, smooth sound, it's because it's missing all the detail in the highs.
Right.
So
Exactly. And then you can go too far on the highs, and then it becomes problematic.
yeah. And I've gone where I want to smooth things. You improve this side, well, this side suffers, and then and it's like, but sometimes you just win in all aspects.
Yeah. Well, it's like this one, In Excess. So, the OG was brighter and didn't have the bottom end, and then the MoFi was the opposite. It was boomy and didn't have much top end, and this was like the perfect middle ground. It really had the blend that was needed, and it just added so much to this record. Which, frankly, I mean, I had to borrow the others for this because I didn't have one, and this just tears up the others. It's just unbelievable.
Dude, we're almost out of that, man. We're gonna have to order more jackets. I mean, I just can't believe, it's selling as much as. I mean, the Genesis, the Yes, the Stone Temple Pilots, and that NXS.
Yeah.
We're selling like crazy. I mean, they're all doing good, but the Genesis, the Yes, the Stone Temple Pilots, which purple's on the press right now, and the NXS are just unbelievable.
Sellers.
Such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
before I go,
Yeah.
Oh, and the Pablos, dude, we pressed like 2,200 of alternate blues like that, and all 250 of the subscriptions of the Pablo are gone now.
Wow. Great.
And those things give you a little tidbit.
Yep.
I don't know when you're putting this video out, but you probably beat us out on it. There's a unannounced UHQR on the press right now.
Oh, so get those fingers ready to go online or call.
It's going to be a very low number too.
Cool.
So hopefully our phones don't crash and explode like the Marley, but You know,
Don't know. You don't know.
well, what
Well,
we'll
again,
probably, yeah. Anyway, try to give you a little, throw you a little
oh,
bone
thanks.
there,
Yeah, a
you
little
know, to have
tip.
some.
All right. Well, we'll be itching for that. That's for
I
sure.
mean, I got it right here.
Oh, dude.
I'm tempted to show the back. I
Okay.
mean, listen, you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear
If
that.
you think I'm fibbing,
No, I believe you.
it hadn't finished pressing yet.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
well,
Life happens.
anyway, yeah, no, I mean, we just trying our best to put out records we think people want, you know, and I think a lot of times people don't really know. It's a little tougher than a lot of people might think, and
But I think you've been really, I think the variety has really, with the Atlantic 75th, obviously, that brought about a huge amount of variety. And I think there's a high degree of appreciation for that. There's a little something for everybody.
yeah, no, we try to do that, and we feel real happy, and we feel like we have been putting out a variety, and our best customers aren't the ones they just buy. You know,
Yeah.
they thank us and they buy. And it's amazing. You know, I went back because we got that whole we bought a couple of collections that had the complete MoFi collection.
I
mean,
know.
pre-DSD, like the original MoFi.
MFSO.
Right. And so I looked through, like in 78, they did like 12 titles. In 79, they did like 13 titles. In 80, they did like 20. In 81, they did like 35.
Wow.
That was the biggest year, the most releases that MoFi ever released. Their biggest year was like 80, 81, 82. I think it was 35 titles. We've released over 35 so far this year.
Yeah.
I think we've released more different titles this year than all the other reissue companies put together. So a popular title like A Kind of Blue, A Timeout, A Gets Garbretto, they're going to keep being reissued. You know, I've been selling Waltz for Debbie. I started in 1986. I've been selling Waltz for Debbie since 1986. And so it's going to, how long has that been? Almost 40 years.
Yeah, almost 40 years.
Right. And so it's going to sell after I'm dead and gone. You know what I mean? It's not going to ever quit selling. So people that wonder why is it still available, it's as long as something sells and people want it, it's going to be available, you know. And
yeah, certain titles are multi-generational titles. That's the thing.
Right. And a lot of our customers, they want the ultimate, and we're trying to present them as the ultimate, you know, the ultimate pressing, the ultimate jackets, you know, the Waltz for Debbie. The jacket is the highest quality, most expensive, scuff-resistant matte finish, and it's a gatefold. And then the Sunday the Village Vanguard is the most expensive textured gatefold. You know, so we're trying to present these items in the highest quality possible, best master, you know, best title, best music, best sounding, best mastering, best pressing, best jacket. And that's what we're trying to do. And, you know, like they say, you can't please everybody all the time, but we're trying. We're trying.
Nope. Well, you guys, I tell you, the Crosby, Stills, Nash Young, the Couch album, I mean, there's issues that thing has had on different songs, and it seemed like everything got fixed on that. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And I just because I shot it out before.
A lot of the original on that stinks. I mean, like we creamed that. And there's also the other Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, the one that they're on the boat.
Yep.
I think it's from 1977. People are gonna shit when they hear the next one. They won't even believe it. It's unbelievable sounding. I played it the other night for the first time.
That's the one with Southern Cross on it, right?
Yeah,
Daylight Again, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Southern Cross.
Southern Cross, I think, is a single off of it. But
yeah,
anyway, I know the one I have at. I have an
They have
OG.
about 4 huge hits on it.
Yeah, it was a big album. There's no doubt.
It was a huge album.
Yeah,
The sound quality on that thing, it's unbelievable. We're so pleased.
Who did that one? Ryan or Bernie or?
I think it might have been Chris Bellman.
Oh, Chris Bellman. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you got a lot of great mastering engineers working on that series, no doubt
They're
about
all
it.
good, man. Ryan's good. Kevin's good. Chris is good. Bernie's good. They're
all great.
Yeah.
It's like I don't really have a favorite,
No.
It seems though sometimes
picking your favorite
some
kid.
of them are better at certain bands than others.
Certain styles. Yeah, I agree with you. Exactly.
But man, on Atlantic, we've been knocking them out the park, man, with the comments we get. I get people calling me and emailing me all the time, just going on and on. I'm like, listen, comment on the product page. And a lot of them don't do it, but I get so many calls. I appreciate. We're so happy with this series. It's just been so fun to work with Atlantic and Rhino on these.
Yeah, have all 75 now been identified? I knew at first there were a couple.
No, but we're getting closer to announcing the rest of them.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting closer, and with a few surprises and some things that people will be pleasantly surprised to see, I think. But we want to wait a little longer to solidify them, like make sure that they're clearing this, that, and the other.
Yeah. No, I get that. Well, I know you're a busy guy, and I really appreciate you taking some time to talk to us. And, I can't wait till the next Stone Temple Pilots in August, right?
Yeah. Early August.
August 9th?
Yeah. So we got 2 weeks, a little bit more than 2 weeks. It's on the press. Got a new UHQR that will be sometime in August. And it's very limited. It's a very famous big title.
Wonderful.
33 RPM for the people that,
don't like to. There you go.
Man, we want 45s and the others. We want, like I said, I'm trying to please everybody. It's just something that isn't totally possible, but it's a 33. It's a big title. It's going to be less than 5,000. 33.
Yep. Should be big, no doubt about it. So good. Well, again, I appreciate you very much. Stay on the line here, but thanks everybody, and we'll talk to you later, Chad.
All right, thank you, man. Congratulations on your big 4,000.
Thanks very much. Take care.
All right.
All right, so there you have it.
Yeah, great. That's great. He's one of my heroes. Michael Hobson of Classic Records and Chad. These folks are record collectors, right? They know what they want. They know what record collectors want, especially like back in the 90s, because, it was digital. And if you're an audiophile and you're looking for a record, well, I want it to sound better than the one I had before. I want it the best packaging, the best cover, and then again, of course, you talked about it, that box he puts it in. That's the best in the industry. So it's all about how can I make this the best ever? And that's what record collectors want.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I mean, he's just he is who he is. I mean, he's the same guy every day. I mean, and somebody asked if he told me what it is. No. And I'll be honest, I don't want to know, because I want to be just as excited as the next person to find out what it is. I mean, I'm really careful. I want everybody to be on the up and up. And I just, don't want to compromise that. If he wanted to show it to everybody, that's fine. But I didn't
Amen.
want
Yeah, that's
to
right.
see it. Yeah, I just don't. That's not where I come from at all. So so it's great. We got some people with some ideas who are looking forward to Slayer. Yeah,
Can I
Slayer.
show the next UHQR? It's definitely this
Sure.
one. Michael
Oh.
Fremer. I can take
There
a
you
ship.
go. The Fremer
Yeah.
record. Yeah, you got one.
Wow.
Of course you do.
This is
Just
the next
inject that right in
UHQR.
my veins, Daddy. Just put it right in here, right here.
Holy
All right.
smart.
Yeah.
He knows.
Well, I'm
I
sure
was
that would
thinking about that earlier because we were talking about some of the OG, right, guys that did record comparisons, right? I had a YouTube channel before Michael Fremer even had a YouTube channel. And I started doing it. I started comparing record pressings because there was nobody else doing that. It was all about, well, I got this record at a record sale, and then I got it. This one's filling a hole, and then I this is a new record. This is while the VC was at the time, right? So I said, well, that's kind of boring. Maybe I'll just talk about, because what I'm an audiophile. I want to talk about. I got this record. It's a reissue, and it sounds a lot better. So, and this one sucks. So don't buy this one and buy that one. That's kind of how I just started doing my YouTube channel. And it wasn't maybe 10 years ago. It wasn't that long ago, but it seems like forever now.
Yeah.
Jason,
Yeah,
what would you
what-
call that pose? I've never seen a human make that pose on purpose before. What is
Th-
that? Is that-
This means other UHQR titles are not real.
No,
Let's
that's
just
the
us.
that's the dance called the armpit smell. That's what that is.
I had no idea that even existed, Jason.
Oh,
So, Armando, it's not
you
too
haven't
late.
lived
So you haven't
until-
seen that record before?
I'm actually
heard it.
insulted because I actually interviewed him in his home for 2 hours, and he was giving me a tour, and it was talking about like all the some of his favorite records in that he's collected throughout the years, and he never showed me that.
Yeah. Well, he just
Did you?
assumes everybody knows that record exists. Yeah.
Well, you
You
know what?
may want to forget it.
There's 2 available. I'm going to buy them right now.
And I've said this in a video before too, like Chad and Michael Fremer, they're two of the folks that I really admire a lot in this industry because they kind
Actual
of,
record. That's
they
actual
were,
record.
they were telling everybody records were better when everybody else was saying that CD was better. We're going back in the 80s here, but these were two of the pioneers that were kept with vinyl records.
Can you imagine how good that would sound at 45 RPM?
Oh my gosh.
So Armando, this is waiting for you. If you look on the panel here, this is waiting
Yeah.
for you.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually ordering it.
Armando, drive to Austin and sit in the living room of Mr. Rojas like I did. And when you hear, I mean, forget Richard Pryor on the Sunset Strip, forget George Carlin, Class Clown. This
What in the world?
is it. Michael, the joke's on you.
That was funny.
I just
It's
ordered it.
gold.
It's
From
gold.
Angry Mom's Records.
It's actual gold.
That's awesome. I just ordered it. I'm not joking.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
How much was that, Armando? Like 50 cents?
Well, I'm not going to tell you because I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Final process.
Oh,
22 months. 22 shipped.
wow.
Is that coming from which distributor? Is that Alliance? Does Alliance have a backstock in that?
No, that's on Discogs, my friend.
No, they'll give you money to take that one.
Oh no way! I'm gonna give him shit.
Inventory reduction sale. It's got to be. So for the peanut gallery and the guys on anybody. So what I'm going to do for the record giveaway is whoever wants to participate in it, I'm just going to have you type something in so I know you want to be in. And then I'm going to put your name on the spin wheel. And then I'm going to let you guys select out of a group of records I have the winners we have. So I'm going to have at least 5 winners. We may do more. So I'm going to go start putting them in the spin wheel. So Brad, if you would do me the favor of, as people type this in the comments, telling me who it is so I can type it in, I would appreciate it. And
Okay.
so what I want you to type in in there is winner. Just type the word winner, and I'm going to put your name in there and add you to the list. I already got Brad and Novice Nick in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Ron in there, Ron B.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, I got Ron B. All of our guests on the dais. not change,
You gotta
chance.
come up here. Hey, listen, you need to disqualify me, David. I think I've won 2 of your contests before. So
Yeah, but
keep me
once
out
you
of this.
win, you can't win again. So
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm disqualified. Yeah, so have fun. It's not as good as the custom that thing you do that you sent me. That was pretty strong.
yeah.
Very nice.
Brad, you naming them?
Yeah. So KRWD,
Okay.
Wyoming Dave, of course.
Okay.
Music in the House. Mugu Mugu, aka Kaja Gugu.
Oh, hush.
There you go.
Whatever.
Novus Nick, of course.
Yep, got him.
You know, Mr.
Nick.
Lube.
Yes.
Who?
Novice Nick, the Lubester. That's
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh, Lube. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Lube.
Yeah.
Next.
The
Anybody else?
vaginal loss, the vaginal audio excursion. I just read it.
Rut row.
Okay.
Flaming Groove listens.
Okay.
67 Pepper.
Okay.
Boot Raiders vinyl visits.
He was on real early, so good.
Oh, that's Brian. Yeah, Brian.
Okay.
Belisario Sonic, of course. Tara
Good
Lewis.
thing I'm Italian. Go ahead.
Yep, Tara Lewis.
Tara. Okay.
Yeah, Tara Lewis. Nike
Not
Metland.
not Jerry Lewis, right? Tara Lewis.
No,
Right?
no, the other guy.
The other one.
Nike Metland.
Okay.
Caesar.
Okay.
JSLAZ 74.
Okay.
Charlie White.
Okay.
OJ C's.
Everybody likes free records.
Man, very popular. The Autumn Wind 1.
Ooh. New people.
Very cool.
Let's see. Music
Don't
Sanctuary.
forget to subscribe.
Won already, so he's not eligible.
Yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't, guys. Okay, go ahead.
So Music Sanctuary, but he said he won already, so maybe he's not eligible.
No, he's eligible. This is a new year. It's a new thing.
Okay. All right.
Everybody's eligible to win one. So
All right. Jay Hires 3053.
hey, Bryce in the house.
MMFS.
I didn't hear that one. Sorry.
Sorry. MMFS.
MFS?
MMFS.
MMFS. Okay.
Yeah. And then Charlie Anderson. I think that's it.
Royce, do you want to be in the vinyl giveaway? I know you just joined, so you probably don't know what's going on. Because I just saw he just joined. A lady. No. I'll throw Royce in there. Okay. All right. So let me share this screen. Let me share this screen. Share screen. Do. Bin wheel. There it is. Picker wheel. Do you guys see that?
There you go.
Oh,
See it?
yeah.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a lot of names. Okay. Well, the way we're going to do it is whoever wins gets to pick out of a group of records, and then I'll pull their name out of the wheel, and then we'll do some more. How's that? So Here we go. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows.
I'll have the letter C, and I'll use that to buy a vowel E.
Yeah, there you go.
I know I probably butchered the spelling. All right. So you're on deck. So if everybody would kind of keep an eye on these as I show them, and then let me see. I'll have to maximize my screen here.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you guys can, if you win another round, then you tell me which one you want that's left. But first one gets the first pick because they beat the most odds, right? So I've got this jazz record. Lee Kunitz plays with Jerry Mulligan Quartet.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
This is a sealed color vinyl of Mamas and the Papas. It's a reissue, obviously, but you can see the toilet on this one.
There you go.
Yes.
Here's a sealed Christian Michael W. Smith Sovereign. Here's Beverly Hills Cop, OG. Another OG soundtrack, Flashdance. I know a lot of these you might have, but here's an OG Sinatra, September of My Years, on the Riverboat Reprise label. Here's a Basha, Time and Tide, OG. Just in case you are funky and you want to play Saturday Night.
That's gracious.
That's a winner.
What a wild bunch.
Yeah.
Sports by Huey
Oh,
Lewis.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a good one.
There
This
you
is
go.
the pinnacle.
Here's a record store day. Chet Baker.
The mono. That's
Yeah.
the mono. Yeah, that's great.
And
Oh, yeah.
Into Out the Door, Led Zeppelin OG.
In the
Now,
paper
this
bag.
is
Is that a
VG
strawberry?
Plus. VG Plus. It's a B cover, a B spine cover.
Is it a strawberry, David?
No, it's the US.
Okay.
You mean, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I don't think it is. Let me double check, but I don't think so. But to be honest with
What's
you, I
the
looked.
strawberry mean?
That's
I think
go ahead,
it's,
Brad.
isn't it the German? I think it's the German EU.
Yeah, it is a strawberry.
Yeah, there
It's
you go.
the UK pressing plant that's owned by 10cc.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
you go.
Thanks, Jason.
There you go.
That's what I'm here for, right?
You
That's
are
what you're here for.
The
You're-
a
encyclopedia
fountain of knowledge
Jason.
and records.
That's
There's
incredible.
All right. So can my winner type in which one he would like? Please, Mugu Goo Goo Boo Boo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if I'm buying that record, I want to make sure it's got the paper bag. That's about as deep as I get into it.
Yeah.
So
Led Zeppelin. Boy, that's a shocker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me put something up here real quick.
Well, you didn't have Beatles or Pink Floyd until the next one's Led Zeppelin.
That's a good point.
So here's my email address. So if you jot that down and send me an email with your information so I can send this to you, remind me which record you bought and what your name was on here and your address, and I'll send it to you. And you'll notice I haven't asked anybody what country they're from because I'm going to send it to whomever, wherever they live.
Very nice.
Period. End of sentence. Yeah. So, all right. So let's get this one back up. I got to get his name out of there. These are too many damn screens. I don't know how the hell Rachel does all this crap. Anyway, she's good at it. I'll give her that, man. She can. There he is. Okay, so now we'll do it again. You
All
see
right,
it?
man, I'm gonna buy the letter S. S for 300.
Yay, good for you.
WD, that was close.
Nice. Nice.
All right, KRWD, what do you think? What's your pleasure? Holy cow, I didn't see that one in here.
Ah, I'm going to pick one that you don't have. That's right.
That's
Yes, yeah, pick one that's-
I want a UHQR that you showed.
yeah. Saturday Night Fever.
Wow. Saturday Night Fever.
Wow, cool.
We got a disco
Hey.
guy in the house.
That's
cool.
okay.
That's
That's
cool.
okay. That's nothing wrong with that. Give the people what they want,
That's right.
That's
That's
what you got.
surprising.
All right, so we're going to remove him. And let's do it again. Giving stuff away
Ben,
is
that's
fun.
for you.
Armando,
Oh.
What?
Cool.
just what you need, a record.
Oh, God, I got too many records. Surprise
You
me,
still
David.
on here, dude?
Yes, sir. Surprise me, David Bianco.
I'm going to surprise you.
Yep, and we could. How about I sell it and we'll donate to a nonprofit locally. But I
Very
will.
nice.
Sounds good.
I will
Sounds
take.
good.
We'll
That's a
donate it
great
to the
idea.
Isaiah House, which is a foster care program.
Well, very good. Thank you, buddy. We'll pick one of the sealed ones and sell it.
Boom.
Okay. Very good. All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah. Armando's got a few records.
A little bit.
A little bit. You know, twice now it's been right next to Wyoming Dave's name, in case somebody noticed.
Old Wyoming Dave needs a new record for sure.
Yeah. Apparently you do too. Oh,
Oh,
Novice
oh,
Nick.
yeah,
Just
cool.
squeaked.
Very good.
Oh, great.
All right, Novice Nick. I'm guessing he's going to pick a jazz. I don't know why, but anyway.
Maybe that Chet Baker,
Maybe the Chet Baker. I don't know.
or the
What
Tone
do you
Poet.
think, Nick? Got a Sinatra, got the Chet Baker. What do you
Oh,
think?
I think you want Frank.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Frank. Okay, there you go. I already got some stuff to send to him, so that's going to work out really well.
Very good.
Cool.
There you go. So there we go. Let's get rid of some records. You were way at the top. Yeah, he was up here. On B.
All right.
There you go.
Send me the Tone Poet. You got my address? I can send it to you.
No, what Tone Poet? The Chet Baker?
No,
Or
that's
the
the
The first one?
Lee Conance or whatever.
Lee
I think,
Conance.
don't you have-
Yeah, the first one. Okay, let me pull it up here. Make sure I'm making sure I got the right one here. This one?
Yeah,
Yeah, send me yours just in case, Ron. I think I do, but
I'll send it anyway. I got your
okay, bud.
email up high on the
Yep.
top of there because you just sent me one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very, very
you're
nice
welcome.
record. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
welcome. Enjoy it for sure.
real accessible.
Because if that wasn't when it's gone, I was just going to probably skip it and you can donate the record too because I got all the other ones I need.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got that one then.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Music in the house.
In the house.
Man,
In
did
the
you
house.
see how close Wyoming Dave was again?
I know.
It's about,
He lives
it'll
on
get
the
better.
edge. All right, music in the house. What would you like? We got Mamas and Papas, Michael W. Smith, Beverly Hills Cop, Flashdance, Basha, Huey Lewis, and Chet Baker. You give your selection to Wyoming Dave. Okay, Wyoming Dave.
Hey, very nice.
Cool.
That's
Very
so nice.
Yeah.
That's a
nice.
good idea too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay,
What do you want,
Wyoming,
Dave?
we gotta wake him up first. No. Okay. What do you think, buddy? Chet Baker all day long.
Good
Very
call.
nice.
Yeah, very good.
Good choice.
Mhm.
Yeah, send me your contact info just so I'm sure that I have it. Again, this
Right.
is my email, guys. That's cool. All right, let's go back and do one or two more here. Wyoming. Music in the house. I'm going to leave you in there because Charlie, Mr. Anderson,
Cool.
Mr.
All right.
Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, I presume.
Yeah, that's right.
Mamas and the Papas, color sealed with the toilet. Michael W. Smith, sealed sovereign. Beverly Hills Cop, Flashdance, 4 by Huey Lewis and Basha, Time and Tide. if Charlie's still here. Tough call.
What's that Basha like? I'm not familiar with that one.
Time and Tide. Yeah, you should. I mean, she. Let's see, what were the hits on here?
Well, you said it like it was a well-known record. That's why I'm
It
wondering.
is.
I don't know.
Yeah. New Day for You. Promises. Time and Tide. I mean, she's kind of like a jazz pop kind of a
Okay.
You
fusion
said
kind of
mamas and
thing.
papas.
Very, very good. Yeah. All right, Charlie. Thanks. Yeah, if you would send me email as well.
So she's a female jazz vocalist.
Yeah, jazz-ish. It's more popish, jazz kind of.
Okay, I hear you.
Music is
Yeah.
kind of jazz-ish. If you heard a couple songs off it, you'd recognize it, Ron.
Very good. Okay.
I'm sure of that.
Thanks,
Time and
David.
Tide was definitely a top 40 hit. Yeah, it's a good one. Let's do at least one more here. Who am I?
That's the first new record I've got in months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, take Charlie out of there. All right.
Just not listening as much as I used to.
Yeah, I get you. Jason Rojas.
Jason.
Very good.
This is
Michael
amazing.
Fremmer.
So
I got
I'm
Michael
gonna
Fremmer's. I got his greatest hits here. Hang on.
do an amazing thing, right, David?
Yeah.
So I'm happy. So I'm gonna give my choice to the vaginal account.
You would, of course. Yes. This is very appropriate. That's very surprising.
So vaginal, if you are watching, please email David at safeandsoundtexas.com.
Tell me which one he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have the record choice.
Yep.
Michael W. Smith, Beverly Hills Cop, Flashdance, Basha, and Huey Lewis. So if you can't make up your mind now, you can email me. So I think we're into the core of what we got. All right, let's do one more for sweet measure. Go. And so Jason took out Jason's.
Oh,
Jason, there it is.
shipping too much to Canada. So vaginal is passing.
Oh, he's passing?
Oh, he's passing. Very nice.
Yeah.
Is he in the bathroom or no?
I don't know.
He's trying to save you some cash. Yeah.
Oh, well, he.
No
Doesn't have
way. Shipping to Canada, like I'll even pay for it.
Well, I mean, I said wherever you are.
David's
that's
already
why-
said it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't. Even Europe, it just doesn't matter to me. 67 Pep.
There you go. Grats.
There you go. $67 Pepper. You have a preference? Yeah, that's right. There he is. That's Concert Buddy. He's got it. I've been storing my money just for this, right?
67 Pepper wants Huey, David.
Huey. All right.
Good
Good
call.
record.
Again,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
email me and okay, well let's call that it. Say we got down to the nub there. All right, guys, thank you very much, and let's get back to everybody here. Good.
David, I think Concert Buddy's in backstage.
Oh, what happened?
I think he lost connection.
Oh, you lose connection?
This
Oh,
contest was so hot, David, it fried my internet connection. Once you
That's
showed the
right.
Huey Lewis, all of a sudden I was in the shadow realm. So hey, it is what it is.
yeah, that is what it is. You're right. Here's I was going to show you something here. Yeah, so I got one of these the other day. The It has the the
Oh,
booklet,
nice.
and then the two EPs that are in here.
Oh,
They
fun.
are, looks like they haven't been played, to be honest with you. They sound like they haven't been played as well. So yeah, there's two EPs in these things. So
That's
I hadn't
very
seen
cool.
one of these in forever.
Now, what's the provenance of those, David? Is that those are like the true stereo, right? And that's the original way that Magical Mystery Tour came out in the UK, isn't that right?
Exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is exactly. Because at first this was kind of the first piece in promotion. Then the record came out, and then of course Capitol got hold of it and then butchered it. They took mono and tried to reprocess 3 or 4 of the songs, so that was a problem. So this was a good find.
Yeah, very nice. Hard to find
Yeah,
record there. Yeah.
yeah.
It'd be interesting to compare that to the
Can't text
Horseshoe.
winning for that because I'm driving in Royals. Ah, okay, Steve. I'll talk to you, Steve, because I'd like somebody to get that Michael W. Smith, because that's a great record. I've got several of those. So send me an email, Steve, if you would. Okay. All right. Oh, there, Autumn Wind. Okay. That's a new one to me. The Wheel in Suspense. Yeah, I know. Is that Beatles? Yeah, it's Beatles Magical Mystery Tour.
Shout out to
Good stuff.
Brian. Brian is a very supportive viewer and listener of my channel, your channel, a lot of people's channels.
Is he in Fort Worth?
Yeah, that's yeah, it's Brian in Fort Worth. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I know
Very
he
nice.
has vision restrictions. I know he's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is yeah, I mean it's really, it's one of those that almost cracks. You can hear the cracking when you open it. It's really nice.
Should compare
Yes.
that, David, to the Horseshoe.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, I am. I'm actually going to. Yeah, I'm going to for sure as well. So I want to go around the dais for a second. Armando, why don't you just give us a quick update on your store and how it's doing? Because I was there this Sunday and it gets a little crowded in there sometimes.
Were you
Yeah.
really? Very cool.
Every Saturday pretty much is a record store day. In fact, the record store day, we weren't invited or didn't even receive a response as we applied. But that day we had 500 people show up throughout the store on a rainy day. So
Uh-oh.
I'm averaging about 5,000 to 7,000 people a month, depending on when the Baylor students are in or not. But it is growing, and it's kind of funny. I was thinking about the successes. I saw a comment about 4,000. Congratulations on your 4,000 mark, David. I don't think that you realize how big that you're getting, or like because you could have like a big number, but not a lot of people view you, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I've had since I've been here in Texas, about 60,000 people show up here, and I would say at least 20 people knew who you were. And I have
Are any of them from law enforcement?
half of them.
Half of that. That's what I figured.
But some of these people aren't necessarily Texas; they're just passerbys. Like the last guy who knew of you was from Florida, and then there was like Kansas. And I brought up Chad's name. I just thought it was really incredible. So David, like you've come a long way. I've been meeting tons of famous people. Sometimes on the other side of the wall, I could hear Ted Nugent playing.
You told me that.
Or we just had a kind of a famous reporter from Chicago come in here, and that was really cool. But I always ask people coming into the store, do you when they look at my guitar, are you an artist? And 2, are you famous? Because oftentimes I'll get one of those. And like miracles just keep on happening in the store, man. It's just incredible what music does to bring good people together.
Hey, Armando, what's the criteria for people to sign your wall? I saw that people have been doing that lately. Is that by invitation only, or is it any customer? How's that work?
Well, pretty much it's like David is a mentor, right? We've been there from the beginning. Like John Tefteller, he's like kind of like my record
Your
guy.
guy. Yep. Yep.
But like it's people who really stand out in the community to me, or really believed in my business, if that makes sense. But took the effort to do something to help me. So that wall back there is for those folks. Some people have actually driven from Oregon to come
wow.
and sign that wall to Texas to follow me. Now on this side of the
That's law enforcement for him.
now behind the counter back there, those are for any artists that have performed or authors. And so we've had like Trail Pharaoh. He was actually just in here from the Vandaliers. It was actually today. And we had an author who just came out with the book, and I'll be posting that on my Instagram with the news reporter. And but so that everyone feels included, everyone signs a book. And yeah, I think I have about 3,000 signatures. What I should have done is I should have forced everyone to sign the book unless they couldn't get their receipt or their records. Then I would have had 40,000 signatures.
Oh.
And more than one book.
Yeah.
Miracles are happening, man. And
very good. So you're paying the light bill. That's the main thing.
Well, there you go, man. Brother, like no joke. We just put out there, we just got interviewed by KWTX, and I put it out there. I need 200,000 records. I say I need 200,000 good records, which will allow me to buy the building. I have a donative goal of $250,000, and we're $28,000, and that's conservative. So I do believe that by the time I'm done with this, I want to raise $222,000 more for vetted nonprofits. So 200,000.
Very nice. Yeah.
200,000 records gets that, and yeah, news is spreading and people are coming in. So
great.
So if you know anybody selling their collections, guys, or anybody in the peanut gallery, reach out to vintagemio.com to Armando. He definitely is looking for collections.
And
what's your main genre need?
It's what's interesting being in Waco, coming from Oregon. In my mind, I was thinking, man, I'm in David's backyard, classic rock and maybe Elvis or Johnny Cash or something like that. I didn't know what to expect specifically from Waco. Everything sells here. Punk records, 250 punk records sold in a month. Like I have travelers all throughout the U.S. and the world.
Well, you had the Eclipse. A lot of people from the Eclipse came.
Yeah, Russia, China, South Korea, or Seoul.
Very cool.
A lady who literally lives on Abbey Road came in, and so we had her take a picture of the Abbey Road cover. Cool. So it's really good. But like when you say like records in general, they have to be good condition, and I don't want freebies. I actually want to earn it. So I'm just looking for someone who just doesn't listen to music anymore, and I'll go travel throughout the U.S. to go get them. So,
yeah, and Armando, you're super close to Magnolia over there, right? So I bet you get a lot of traffic from people just coming to check that out, right?
Yeah, I actually do. One of the goals is to meet Chip. He's very well aware of it. Chip and Joe. In fact, I can't disclose too much of my customers, but he is very well aware that I'm looking for him. He actually, the reason why I love Chip Gaines so much isn't necessarily like what they have or what they currently have, right? Or who they attract. It's the fact of how he's a role model. And anyone who watches like the Fixer Upper or whatever could easily see how much he loves Joe. And
the whole family,
he just loves her. And so his role model in having a successful marriage and loving his kids, that's why I want to meet him. So yeah, they attract 1.9 million visitors every year. That's only second to the Alamo in Texas.
Right. Wow. That is a testament there, isn't it? Second to only the Alamo in the whole state of Texas, folks. Wow.
It's really
and Waco's like what, 150,000?
It's about 120,000 people, but it feels like in the downtown area, like a very small town where everyone knows each other.
Oh, that's cool too.
I mean, so that's an incredible amount of traffic for a city that size. It's amazing.
It is.
It really is. And a lot of people don't realize how much talent there is here in Waco, Texas. We have folks from, man, just the other day I heard that, I don't know, gosh, like, I think I know Metallica was just right next to half a, I don't know how long ago was it, but they've made a stop here at Dichotomy Coffee, which is just around the block, or what was the guy's name? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days or something like that. The guy from Austin who's a huge Texas fan.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. He was here at Fable's bookstore. Ted Nugent was just on the other side of the wall the other day. But there's artists that come throughout here. It's really cool.
When Ted's there, it's loud.
Oh man, I have to.
Oh yeah.
There's a Texas Music Cafe around a door and a half down from Armando's. So
No, it's the other side of the wall.
Well, yeah, I guess it is, but yeah, I've got to go outside and come through a door. But you're right.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, Ted was playing the Star Spangled Banner, and there was this guy. Well, can I tell the story just briefly?
Sure.
I heard this guy just like yelling like ah, and I was like, oh my gosh, the mic check. There's someone's not happy, and then I hear this like do 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 do. Someone like strumming like the Star Spangled Banner and yelling, and I was, man, this is a different level. And then he started getting into politics. He was singing this one song. And so and so, and I was like, guys, what's going on back there? And he's like, sorry, it's Ted's warming up. So it was really interesting. And we have everyone. And you know what's really cool about Waco? It's just an underdog city, but the youth here, they really care about their city and they just want it to be better. There's like a hope, you know. So I'm in a good spot.
Nice. Very good. Congratulations. Well deserved.
I appreciate it. But one thing I do have to get off, David, but I was going to ask you guys, has everyone noticed that David's always wearing my shirt? Like David's always like wearing my shirt. He just does it freely. He actually does a lot of things out of the kindness of his heart. And
he's very kind. Yeah.
He doesn't do this for money. And I keep on thinking to myself, David, where are your t-shirts?
Oh, for my channel?
Where are your t-shirts?
Your merch. Where's your merch, bro?
Yeah, where's my merch? Yeah, that's on.
It's on shorts, David. Now's the time to reveal the Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion boxer
coffee mug.
Let's go,
David.
Here's my idea. It's right here. Hang on.
There you go.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That was my most recent thought.
That's your most recent thoughts. Those are mine too, by the way.
David, let's talk soon. And bottom of my heart, you know, we're a business that gives back to people that support and do good things. Yeah. You've donated a lot to nonprofits in our group, and let's get you some t-shirts on me. Let's just go ahead and start it, because I think a lot of people would support you because they care about you.
Well, thanks. We'll get that going.
You know,
I appreciate that.
It's so important to have a really good record store you can count on to have. And David, you're so lucky to have a guy like that you can go to and get records from. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is.
You guys are awesome. It was good chatting with you guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Armando. Take care.
Bye, Armando.
Thanks, Armando. Yeah, he's a good guy, and I wish him well. He's doing a lot of good things. So, what was I going to say? Nick was in the backstage, and he dropped. If you want to come back up, Nick, come on up. But anyway, so what's going on in Jason's world? Anything? You staying out of trouble?
Probably not.
Okay,
you know,
just checking. You know,
Trouble's his middle name. It's Jason T.
Right.
Rojas. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah.
That's right. I've just been having live streams, spinning records with Jose and Nathaniel Mars, the Wolfman. A lot of fun.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen a few. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
I must not be subscribed. I don't get notification for your live stream. I'll have to make sure I do that, Jason. Is your name of your channel, is it Jason Rojas or what is it?
Yep. That's
okay. I'll have to look for it. I'm probably
Jason,
not subscribed.
Jason is a small channel, so you might have missed him because if you blink, you can miss it. It's
but channel, you know, that causes
it's not on purpose. It's just sometimes you don't subscribe to people.
Jason knows I'm messing with him.
Ron, I'm just a small channel that causes a lot of uproar in the vinyl community.
What is that? You cause uproar. That's my middle name.
You know, or this Rhino reissue sucks. Everyone freaks out. You know, I've learned. You know.
Well, you have to have an opinion that you believe in, and it's
It's just
called,
more than
facts.
words. It's more than
More than words.
Hey, look at this one, Jason.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
sure. Yeah. I agree. There we go. I concur.
Okay.
It's like you were talking earlier before we all got on something about, people let the price of the record or who made the record or all that influence how the record sounds to them. Not to me. In fact, there's been a number of times when I've got a record, it's a reissue or something that I've got another original or something of, and the cover is so much nicer, and the records are pressed so much nicer, and the packaging is and I want it to sound better so much, but it just doesn't. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Doesn't matter who makes it, who did it, who whatever. Just let your ears be the judge, because that's going to tell you what. And the thing is, hey Novus, Nick,
Hey.
you have to do
How's
this for a
everyone?
while.
Good to
You
see
just
you.
can't jump into listening to music and being able to tell what sounds better than something else, because it's an education process where you learn. Okay, now I have learned this is what it's supposed. See, it's about too. Have you been to the orchestra? Have you been to live concerts? Do you know what it's supposed to sound like in the first place? That helps a lot too. So anyway, get that out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's no answer that's always the right. It's not always the OG. It's not always the reissue. It's not always mastering engineer X or Y. They vary.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally did one on that Friday Music with the S album, and one side of the 4 sounded like it was as good as the analog productions. Then the other 3 sides sucked.
I have that record, and that's true. One of the sides, the music is jumping off the speakers. No, the rest of the record sounds good, but there's that one that and that's my favorite side anyway. So it's all good.
Yeah.
It's the first side.
Yeah. So it's just, you never know. There's no.
No, I like to. I watched a review of the Yes album that David and Brad did, and I'd had it on order, and it finally came in. And I don't let other people influence my thoughts and ideas. I just warm up the tubes. I put it on, and I was like, "Wow, this is good. This is really good." And then I must have played it. I don't know. I've played it probably 8 times at this point, at different times of the day, in different moods, because all that can really change what the music sounds like to you. And if you're in just the right mood and it strikes you, it's incredible. But if you're just like, okay, I want to hear this again, and you're not really into it, well, you've gotten out of it what you kind of put into it. But on a good recording that sounds marvelous and has the whole package there, there's just no denying it. You can't help but sit there and wait for that smile to start to grow on your face. And you're so glad there's nobody sitting there watching you, because you're just like, boy, this is really good. And that's how the Yes album, the latest one I've gotten was. And then I got lucky on a blind buy of who doesn't have, how many copies of Dark Side of the Moon do we have?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Okay.
Never enough, right?
Right. So I'm watching this auction, and I'm like, why am I bidding on this album? I mean, I got Brazil back here. I got this one. I got that one. Well, it comes in, and I'm looking at it, and the guy had it marked as a 73 cut. And I'm looking at the dead wax. I'm like, and have you gone through Discogs without, typing it in first? There's I don't know what, a couple hundred Dark Side of the Moons. So I tried typing it the first time, and evidently I typed in the wrong numbers. I said where he said it should be, it wasn't. So I typed in the dead wax numbers, and it was the 30th anniversary. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that doesn't happen to me. I'm like, no, wait. I got a hold of Dave. I'm like, Dave, you got this album. He said, send me your Discogs on it. Just as another source to look at it. I'm like, so I sat down, listened to it, and some of it wasn't all that different. Then other parts of it was, wow, this sounds quadraphonic. And it was really, you could tell it was a really well recorded album, well pressed album. I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
that was on my bucket list to get, but I knew it would always be out of my price reach.
Right. It's
And
expensive.
for a $20 bill, I think I did pretty well.
Yeah, my too.
That's a good deal.
Now the guy
Yeah,
that
and
sold it
so
to you is crying
I-
right now, but yeah,
Oh, he doesn't know.
he does now.
He sells thousands of records. So, but
Yeah, I know.
I was like, okay, I got to pull out the Humming Guru to clean one record, because if it is what it is, okay, I've only checked the dead wax. How bad is it? Right? Isn't that the next question? Is it scratched up? Does it sound
Right.
muffled? It is perfection. I'm like, what? So yeah, I kind of hit the lottery that day. My wife was telling me, you need to go buy a lottery ticket
Told you
tonight.
that too.
Yeah, you did too. No, honey, you're in the dark. But yeah, so that was a good day.
That was a good. That reminds me of
Yep.
Groundhog Day. Why can't
Yeah.
I be on a beach? That was a good day.
Yeah, exactly. But so that's my ventures. I haven't been buying that many records lately. I just trying to find time to listen to them.
Right.
And I finally got a turntable for the restaurant for when customers aren't there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a dual 1219. I sent it off to Fix My Dual. The guy really knows his stuff, and
Yep.
it came back as brand new, and it
Wow.
sounds marvelous. Yeah, I have that with a pair of Kef LF50s. And it's a really big room, so it's lacking a little bass because, it's 3,500 square
exactly.
feet with 12-foot ceilings. That's a
Right.
hard room to fill. But if you sit in close proximity, it sounds really nice. So then the same day, that Dark Side of the Moon, an old buddy calls me up and says, look, I got a couple of vintage
your equipment.
Yamaha receivers, some speakers. I think it's a Pioneer Techniques. I have to look. It wasn't a Sony. 100-disc CD changer with a 5-speaker surround system and a subwoofer. I'm like, he's like, just take it, get it out of here. I'm like, really? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I might know a few friends that can use it,
Sure.
because you don't throw out perfectly good gear. It's just
No. Yeah.
his father had passed and he didn't have room for something. Like 2 Yamaha receivers and the 100 CD player, all the remotes, go figure, right? And the heavy duty cabling for all the speakers. I'm like, wow, that's nice. So yeah, I hit the lottery that day without a ticket. It was a very good day.
It was one of them good days. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't happen often, but when they do, you're like, yeah, it helps you pump your chest out a little bit more, just the happy face.
Makes up for the other 30.
Take it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's the end of the month. All the bills are rolling in. Jeez.
All the bills are rolling. The new insurance bills coming in.
Oh, don't even say. Speaking, that was
Yeah,
one
I
of the
know.
topics that I wanted to just sideswipe everybody with, if you don't mind, David.
Yeah, right.
I had my insurance guy in the other day, and we were talking about all the different insurances. And then I said, well, what about my gear and my records? It was like, well, how many records you got? Most, he's thinking maybe
That's right.
50. And he goes, wait, what? And I showed him my Discog, and he's like, no, get out. You don't have 47 Beatles records, do you really?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. So he's like, well, yeah, we need to insure all that. And he says, and I can't believe you have it all cataloged. That is like a dream. I'm like, yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. That's what you need to do if you want to get insurance for your record collection. Put it on Discogs, and then you can get a rider on your insurance policy.
Exactly.
Yep, and that's what we were working on. So
you got to have some kind of valuation. I mean, as imperfect as it is.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
In the ballpark,
but
right?
they give you the low, medium, and high. And even then, how about the act of actually finding all these records?
Amen on that.
I mean, you know, you can give something a value, but where's the added value of trying to find it?
Can't get your time back.
Yeah. Oh, it's just lost. But at least you got to listen to it while you had it. But knockwood, we don't have flames. We don't have gas in the house. Although I wish I had gas. Oh wait, okay. I don't have gas.
That's not what your wife told me.
Statement of the stream right there, Nick. I wish I had gas. Yeah.
Hey, you're just sad I beat you to it. I know.
No, you did. You did.
But no, being in a restaurant, I wish the restaurant had gas for that one reason. Cooking with gas is just incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
But for insurance sake, you get a nice break when it's all electric. So that's what our restaurant is. Yeah.
Well, I think that's why, David, when you did your move recently, there was no having movers move that stuff.
No. Did you see what I wrote earlier today, Dave? While you were giving out records, you need to move more often to find all these. I need to get rid of this one. I need to get rid of that one.
Well, last time I moved, it was about 5 years ago. My oldest boy helped me, and he said, "Dad, if you ever move again, I'm not moving the records. I'm not doing that. No,
I'm disowning you." Yeah, I don't plan on moving from. I've been here 24 years, but it's a 2-story, and we're out. It's outgrown us, our needs, but I do not want to move it.
No, nobody does. But yeah, I retired and we rent a ranch house here. Level is nice for. Got the man side, got the woman side. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, the missus is in the audio as much as I am, so she has her own theater downstairs, and I have my theater upstairs.
Well, I've got my record, my man cave, and my wife's got the living room where she likes to watch all the rallies and stuff that go on. She likes all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the missus commandeered our living room, which is fine.
Fantastic,
Yep.
So Marcella,
because they get to decorate it the way they like, and I don't care. And then I get to put my tube traps and stuff over here, and she doesn't. Well, she kind of cares, but it's okay.
Well, I married a unicorn. I can basically do anything I want, and she's happy.
Let's replay that one.
Yeah. Hey, she'll tell you. This is a woman that bought me or bought us a tube Macintosh preamp. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, right. How's that for a unicorn?
Somebody that knows what they're even doing. It's amazing. Yeah.
It was funny because a friend of mine lent it to me, and I was playing some records, and she walked by the room, and she turned around immediately, and she walks in the room. She goes, "I don't know what it is, but you're keeping it. This sounds incredible. What is it?" I'm like, "No, honey, we're not keeping it."
I thought it was because you put a picture of it on the fridge for about a year, and she finally got the hint.
No, she heard it. She loves great sounding music.
Unbelievable,
yeah.
Good ears.
Listen to that tip, guys. That's a good tip.
Smart.
Get your wife involved if you're married. Yeah.
Good luck.
Your date, whoever. Find someone that likes it. But the missus loves her bass as well. She's the one that suggested we upgrade our subwoofers, and now they're end tables. If you were to look at them.
Well, the only other woman I know is Melinda Murphy that likes subwoofers. That's about it.
Yeah, we got and next time Dave comes, he'll feel the full force of 4 15-inch drivers.
Yeah, I had a question from Marcella I want to get to.
Okay.
I hadn't bought the Rhino Bad Company yet. I may very well do it, and if I do, I will do a shootout. I was on the fence a little bit about it, but I'm probably going to get it. So if I do, I definitely will do a shootout on it, to answer your question.
That's a 33.
At 33,
you have the 45. Yeah,
I have the 45.
Right. So David, I'm gonna drop off, David.
Okay.
Congratulations on 4K subs. Thanks for letting me up once or twice.
I'm gonna drop off as well. Thank you,
Appreciate
David.
you, my friend. Take care.
Good to see you, folks.
Nice visiting with you.
Until next time.
Yeah, Jason.
Good seeing you, Jason.
See you guys.
Concert buddy.
Yeah. So, and Jason, I guess, is heading out. So, yeah, Brian, send me an email and I'll connect you. We'll talk about a speaker guy. Looking for a speaker guy. Yeah.
Look at all that fancy stuff
Look
going
at,
on.
oh
you
my
got a
gosh!
Mac.
Look at
You
that.
got a
Oh,
Mac, don't
boy.
you, Novitz Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, Macs do that. The new
Yeah.
operating.
Mac Mini. It takes up very little space. It's
Oh,
also
Hey,
my
there's a
runes.
there's a
It's my
guy that
runes server.
bought a piece of shit today. That's cool.
yeah, he
What's
did.
that?
He bought a piece of shit.
today.
Shit
Oh,
low kid.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
a,
bought
that's
I,
a good
I bought
EQ.
I bought a piece of shit last month.
Yeah.
A Manny
It's
too.
good stuff.
Yeah,
American
the
made,
Manny too.
based in Corpus Christi now.
Yeah.
I got a question on that. I don't know. I watched it about a year ago. They said they were going to come up with a new phono preamp and a new amplifier or something. Is that what you're talking about? Did they come up with that stuff now?
They have that's an EQ, but they have a new phono preamp. Starts with an S. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But you can go to the website and check it out.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be coming out with a tube one.
Oh, really?
That's the rumor. Yeah, a tube phono preamp. That would be very interesting because they're.
Hey, you were thinking of getting a new phono preamp, weren't you, Brad?
Yes.
A Colorado preamp, weren't you?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm still looking. Yeah.
You're still looking? Okay.
Ow!
Ow, ow, ow.
Got a Charlie horse or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe his wife replayed the video.
Look, I had 2 doctor's appointments today. Yeah, what a
One
mess.
for the head and one for the body, right?
No. You'll see. You'll get old someday. Go ahead and laugh, funny boy.
I'm there.
Just wait. It gets even more fun.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. Hey, Ron, you kind of slowed down making videos yourself, huh?
I have, and I've been planning to make a video now for about 6 months, and I'm still working on it.
Oh,
Okay.
And I do get some, messages on some of my older videos when people are going, "Ron, are you okay? Hope everything's fine. They're just checking in. You're not making videos. What the heck's wrong with you, bro? Come on."
Right.
So
it takes time.
Well, I don't know. I've just do have a routine I like to do, yard work, and I'm busy watching stuff on the YouTube and other videos. And I play my son gave me an Xbox, so that's taken up some time. Not a lot, but I take a little bit of time with that once in a while too.
Yeah.
So I just I've not been playing a lot of records lately. I just really haven't been, and I haven't been interested in buying anything I got a new car recently, so I'm kind of, messing with that,
nice.
doing little things here and there, and going on trips, and being retired more than just sitting around the house kind of thing. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's good to take a break from whatever.
I wanted to talk about. I don't have all the records for some reason, but that Genesis Selling England by the Pound. The AP, the 75th anniversary thing, right? The 2 LP.
Yep.
Right.
I bought it when it first came out. I got the record, and I was going to do a video on it, of course, right? Compare it to, I had the classic record edition. It sounded fantastic. I always did. Of course, the AP is a lot better. I can tell you that. But the problem why I never made the video was when I got the record, both the records had a warp in it. And it wasn't like a nice even warp. It was one of those warps where it just drops real fast. And it made a sound on the record. It would be audible sound, especially on the lower end.
Yeah.
Halfway through the whole side, you'd hear that, right? So I called them up. Of course, they sent me 2 new records. And one was a little better. One was not so good. So I had to give me another one. And they still have a problem with being warped. And that, I don't know what you call it, but when it drops so fast, it is an audible sound on the record.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, send it back again. I don't hear that many, but it happens every
I've
now
never
and
had
then.
that problem before ever with anything that they've ever made.
Right. and being human and such that every now and then something's going to happen. You gotta, but yeah,
It's kind of funny on that
that's
one
aggravating.
record, though. They seem to have that same problem like multiple times. It just keeps, and nobody else has ever mentioned it. And I'm the only sucker that got the record like that.
Well, I need to check mine. I need to.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. It's not one of my favorites. So
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
Well,
get
I
that
got
one,
them
but
all.
yeah,
So
yeah, I know
what
you
was that,
have them.
yeah.
Brad?
I don't
What'd
think
you say?
mine has that. I don't think mine has that.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody else complaining about it, but of course, I'm not watching everybody's videos. That's for sure. But
Right.
Just unlucky, man.
Shot the shit skull, SKOLL. Okay, thanks, Brad.
That's the new one, Ron.
But that's
we're
all
talking
solid
about.
state.
That's solid state. And supposedly they're
Okay.
doing. I don't know if it's going to be a tube model of that one or an even more upgraded phono preamp with a tube with tubes in it.
so what's the
Right.
consensus on that? I don't even know what the price point was. They were just kind of talking about they were going to come out with a new one. Didn't really say what it was. They didn't know what it was going to cost, or where does it? Is it
It's
really good, or
$399.
is it just kind of a mid grade, or where are we at?
It's $399.
Oh, it is. Yeah, so it's not a high end product. Yeah.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is it's got balanced inputs and outputs in it.
Right, which is now that what's the other one that someone was talking about it yesterday. I don't remember the name of it. It's not VPI, but something like that. Can't remember, but supposed to be another good phono app for more of like not entry level, but when you get to your next step up in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's
I've had in
the past.
iPhone. That's the one I was trying to think.
Yeah, iPhone. No, I've had the Emotiva. It's I think 189, and that does moving magnet, moving coil, and that was a good phono pre as well. It's solid state, of course, and it's small and compact. And I was deciding between that one and the shit for the restaurant setup.
Yeah.
And I figured I'll try the shit first because it was, I don't know what, $40 cheaper. And I wasn't looking, I have 2 full-blown systems. I'm not looking to actually build a significant amount of money into this third one.
No, of course not. No.
Yes. So, and it sounds fine. So I said, okay, I'll just stick with
that phono section was a giant killer, kind of not the giant killer, but like for the budget, it was punched way above its price point. So that's a very good value right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of wondering where the next one up in the line. So the tube one, are they aiming to get more in the audiophile type range or what?
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, it's not out
okay.
yet.
Well, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. But right now they have the Manny, which is the one of the viewers here.
Manny too.
Belisario Sonic said that he has one. It's only $150, and then they have now. That's
by the time they tax you and ship it, it's about $180.
Yeah.
My coupling capacitors and my phone will cost more than that. So that's kind of where we're at with that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. No, it's. Yeah, I mean it's.
And I want a new one. I want a better one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can spend to your heart's desire on a phono pre.
Oh yeah, all these things.
Like anything else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to do your research and find out, because you can waste so much money on this stuff. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, then you end up. It could get all the reviews, all the accolades, and if you put it in your system and it doesn't have the synergy, it needs to go back.
Yeah, if you don't like it.
Sometimes the synergy is just not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great
I've seen that with some great gear, but sometimes when you match it up, it just doesn't blend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can have 2 things that have almost exact specs being the same that sound very differently.
Yeah. Well, it's like a DAC. It's the implementation. It could be the exact same DAC, and they can sound very much different. It's implementation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah, it takes a lot of pieces and parts to make it get together. So
Yeah.
absolutely does. Well, guys, this has been fun. I really appreciate everybody. I got some records to ship. That's nice. It's a
Yeah.
good thing. I
Good
got
show.
Novice Nick. I got some others to send to you too. So,
Well, I
and
appreciate
Ron, that'll
that
be a
for
nice
sure.
little pickup for you to get one for, add to.
Yeah, got a new record. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. Well, it's
New records are
yeah. I was
always
really
good.
really glad to have Chad come. I mean, I to be able to join at least the way he did at least. So
Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
That
yeah.
was great.
Because
Fantastic.
he hadn't been on very much, as you guys probably have noticed on
Yeah.
channels and things. He's been kind of
Yeah.
He's a busy man.
I think
Yeah.
most of us are fans, though.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and
Yep.
that was a nice little teaser on that next UHQR. It'll be
August 9th.
See what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. All I can say is just remember he's got classic records plates.
Yep.
That's another
So you never know.
whole show right there.
That's
we
what
could
we
start
hear.
getting into.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've talked
Yeah.
to my cousin about this a lot because if you now maybe you haven't done it recently, but if you go to like eBay and you search classic records, 45 RPM or something, you'll get
Mhm.
records and after record after record and pages after pages of stuff up that's for sale from classic record stuff. All the stuff that's available that he has got all the plates for, that all he has to do is say, hey, call up somebody and say, hey, I got the plates. I don't have to get Bernie to do anything. I can just make the record. How much is it going to cost me to make a whatever of this?
Well, the licensing. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. How hard is it? They don't have, I don't need your tape. I don't need any of that. I just want to pay you money. Can I do it? Yeah. How hard is that to do? And there's so many titles out there that he could do that with, but he's so busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
He just look at he said
Well,
in a video here a while back that he's got so much stuff on the go that he doesn't need anything new. He just gets that done. He can retire. He's got enough to finish his retirement, just doing what he's got to do right now.
Yeah, I heard one time he stated he had 10 years worth of stuff he good ready to go with.
I believe him. Yeah. And he's got his own label. He's got his own recording studio. He can't even make those records for himself.
No.
He's so busy.
Yeah. That's right.
I think he said on a video here a couple of years ago, he was doing Abbey Road. He had one press, just pressing Abbey Road. It did it 24 hours a day. He said, what am I supposed to do? He says, that one there is paying all the light bills. It's paying for everything, all the stuff. Am I supposed to take that off and put something else on? Hell no. I'm going to make money. This thing's making me money.
Keep churning.
Mm-hmm.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is. But the Atlantic 75th was a whole big infusion. Think about it. That was
it was
really through a huge, a huge consumption of resources.
Yeah, strain on them almost.
And like you told him as well, it put a whole bunch of various types of music in his chart that he doesn't normally do. He likes to do a lot of different jazz and maybe some classic rock, but all this funk and all this other stuff got thrown in there that he never does stuff like that.
No, there's a lot of people who like Genesis who never knew who that label was, really didn't know about them until Chad released those. And then all of a sudden, so then they're looking at what else he's got. So it introduces them to a new audience, So it was smart. It was smart, but it delayed a lot of releases. Like the Steely Dan. I mean, he said, and I don't know if it was in the video because I had to cut part of the video because he got a phone call, but he had said, maybe he said, I wish I would have only done 3 of the Steely Dans, Can't Buy a Thrill, Asia, and Gaucho. He said, I kind of bit off a lot, doing the whole catalog.
Right. Because
a lot of resources in every sense of the word.
Yeah, and I think his numbers were
Pretzel Logic
off.
was the one he had to do like 7 takes of. He couldn't get the high end right on that Pretzel Logic. That cost him a lot of time and money to get that one out.
Yeah, that one had issues keeping the highs though. That was the
Yeah.
problem.
I remember you
Uh,
talked to him about that record
mhm,
specifically in one of your videos.
yeah, yeah, that was tough because he took a lot of hits on that one. But I mean, he told me that if he said he said you think the highs were.
That's right. Yeah.
He said,
You
if
think
I
the
would have
one I got
released,
high is bright. They should have heard all the other 7 other ones.
yeah, it would have been way worse. So
Yeah.
and I was even talking to a guy yesterday, literally, who said he had sent his to Patrick. Patrick did a shootout and, of course, hated it. And the guy never even played it then. And I said, I said, you ought to sit down, give it a
Yeah.
listen,
Come
and
on.
listen to what you can hear that you couldn't hear in the original. Don't just say stuck on the highs,
Right.
because I listen to that version more now because it's a much broader, richer sounding record.
Yeah.
Although the highs aren't as high, but still it sounds much more pleasing. So
Yeah. Don't
sometimes
let
you got to
somebody
tweak
else
those
tell you
together.
what sounds good to you.
Yeah.
You don't ever
Yeah.
do that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Systems are different, ears are different. You got to make
Yep.
your own decision.
Rhino Black Sabbath ordering and shipping was a total. Yeah, I mean, I have got to say, they really need their customer service. And I saw some decent packaging coming out of the new ones now, where they
What are
even
they
have like
changing under
styrofoam.
packaging?
Pardon?
What did they change on the packaging?
They actually, I saw some that actually had like styrofoam reinforcements on the sides, even interior.
Wow. That's really
Oh.
going there.
That's big
And
time.
when you were talking about that earlier, I was thinking about, big record companies that sell records that have horrible packaging. You know who one of them? Blue Note.
Hmm.
Have you bought
Yeah.
records from the Blue Note label themselves?
I haven't.
Yeah. Well, they
Let's-
send it
God
in
bless.
a record mailer box. One of them things you get off eBay, basically.
Oh,
Ah.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, and I've
never-
had like 8 records in the same box, and when the more you put in a box, the harder it is to ship because that gets heavy, and then when you drop it, you try to keep the number down in the box. It helps to make it for longevity of the record. But anyway, they sent the 8 records in that crappy box. I don't even think they had one stiffener in it, and they all came here in perfect shape. So that was a miracle. So but they was just lucky because I've had other records come that were packed better and got damaged. Yeah. And
Hey,
that's what
quick spec.
when I first made my first video for YouTube, it was a link from my eBay store because I've made how to package and ship records. I had one of those tutorials on YouTube. It was one of the most viewed tutorials on YouTube about how to pack and ship records because I got so many records that were damaged from these crappy eBay sellers that I made a tutorial that I could link to and I'd say, hey, and ship the record and I click that and put it in there. But then over the years, I'd have to change as my procedure changed, I have to change the wording on it. And then I got new boxes. So I said, well, I got to redo that again. And then I said, hey, there's a link to YouTube in here. And that's why my channel is called Ron Beaudry, because I had a YouTube, I had a Gmail account. It was Ron Beaudry, right? So I just used that to make a YouTube video. And then I just said, and then when I did that, I said, hey, there's other people on here that are making videos about records. So maybe I should try to make a video about records or something. And that's how the whole thing started.
I see.
Yeah.
So I saw a quick spec you asked about Sabbath. Are you looking for one? Nick, I know, has a sealed one. If you connect with him, if you're looking for one or you know anybody.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to mention to you, is to let you know. I don't know that they're going to release a non-numbered thing. I tend to think they're not.
I've got a question
honestly.
for you on that record.
Yeah.
I haven't watched enough videos on it. Where does that record rank, and as far as good as a Vertigo Swirl sounding a record, or where's it at?
You should watch David's shootout.
Yeah, watch my video. Yeah.
I think I did
you
watch
go.
it, but I don't remember where it was, where it ended up.
I like I think the UK came in third.
What?
And
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the US and the Rhino were better.
I don't know what
Yeah.
US you got, but it's nowhere near my WWA, which is the VO6 stamper, which is the swirl stamper. Completely
I've
destroyed
heard
the
mixed
US.
reviews on it.
It's the
Yeah,
US greenie, right, David?
it was a greenie. Well, it was actually a white. It was a white promo of a greenie, but
There you go.
I had the green, and I also had the Rhino green. You know, the Rhino reissue that Kevin Gray did back in what 2010 or so.
okay.
Remember
Yeah, I
those?
don't
Are you
have.
talking about Paranoid Run or the self-title?
Talking about self-title.
Yeah.
Isn't that the
Yes. Yeah.
the
Yeah. It
Rhino?
is. Yeah. Yeah. It is. Is the WWA? Is that the one with the swirl?
No, the WWA is a label out of the UK.
Ah. Okay.
And they put a lot of the Black Sabbath records out on that label, but they use the VO6. You can see right on the dead wax it says VO6. On the swirl it says VO6. That's the same stamper. That's how you know it's the same stamper as the swirl.
Yep.
And I've got a number of videos about Black Sabbath because I like some of their early stuff a lot. And I had the original American green label. It might have been a Canadian green, or it was a green label Warner Brothers. I haven't had it for years now. And then I got the Kevin Gray reissue, but that WWA, the bass and the punch and the detail and everything was just so much superior to the US or now the one that Kevin Gray did over at Acoustic there, that was a good sounding record, but it wasn't as good as the VO6 pressing from WWA from the UK. It's a UK press.
Steve
So I'm
Westman
kind of
said
surprised
Kevin.
that you said it like that. And in my experience, that's right.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that I have the same exact UK that you did. It wasn't mine. So, but Steve said Kevin had only done the recent Black Sabbath one, that he hadn't ever done it before. That's what his note says. So I don't honestly know myself. You said you thought he did it 2012 or something?
Yeah. I've only got one of those left. It was Black Sabbath 4 with all that grouping that he did. That was the best sounding one because Black Sabbath 4, actually, they recorded it in the States. So the tape, the OG tape is in the States, right? All the other Black Sabbaths, the earlier ones, the OG tape was Polygram or whatever, the swirl label. That was their OG taper is from the UK. But number 4 was they came to the California and they recorded the record in California. So the OG tapes here, and that Rhino was the best sounding of the ones that I had. The ones that I even had a Japanese swirl original, and it was better than that. But anyway, just saying.
Yeah, Steve said McMaster cut the 2012. That's what I thought, but I didn't remember for sure. But
McMaster.
Yeah,
okay.
Ron McMaster from Capitol. Yeah.
At Capitol.
Well, I mean, that's who he did a lot of work for, was Capitol Mastering.
Rhino. Just talking about the Rhinos was Ron McMaster.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, I can't, like I said, I don't have one, so I can't say for sure. I'd have to look online.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
He's digging.
It's time to dig.
You find it?
I got this one. This is the only one I have left, of that time. It says cut from the original analog tape. Of course, they don't say. This was back in the day when they didn't say who was the. Check the dead wax, see if they can see what it is. My old eyeballs.
Yeah. That job keeps getting harder and harder.
You said it was 2010?
It was 2012.
Might be. I'm just, What does it say on here?
It's a 2010 by Ron McMaster.
That was the first one.
Your friend,
Oh, what's this?
right?
Yeah, that was the 2010 Rhino. R1 1871 is the catalog number. Those were pressed at Rainbow, which is like yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call them rain blow. No, it's Steve is right. Those are McMasters.
But yeah, these were supposed to sound really good, and they did. They sounded good, but not as good as the UK first press that I had.
You haven't heard the Rhino, I assume.
No, that's why he's got one. So that's one of my favorite records of all time. So if it's supposed to be if it's that good, maybe I need to get a hold of it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's pretty damn good.
Because by the time I found out about it, they were sold out. I mean, it didn't take long to sell out. I watched the video. I think it was your video. You're talking about this record. I'm like, well, I need to buy that. Well, sorry, Ron, you're way late to the party here.
Was it 2 weeks?
Not even.
Week and a half, I think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't 2 weeks. I know that.
I think someone actually left a comment on one of my videos that I redid on the Black Sabbath stuff and said, hey, Ron, Rhino just reissued this. Check it out. And I went to check it out and they were gone. Yeah.
Maybe you can buy Novus Nick's copy, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before it goes up, geez.
Why don't you give me email me at ronniebaudry.com@gmail.com and we'll talk.
All right.
Yeah, he said
RONI. Tell me when you're ready already.
Yeah, okay.
RONI.
Okay.
BEAUDRY, like my name up there, but RONI instead of Ron. And it's all lowercase at gmail.com. Anybody out there wants to email me, feel free. I like to talk to folks.
All right.
Yeah. He said the Cars one is pushing 300, the first Cars record. Jeez.
Yep.
Doesn't take long. When things go out of print, it doesn't take long. Even in this Biden economy, things are still getting overpriced like that. Yeah.
Rarity is rarity,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the
Nick
price
Fantasy,
of gold?
good to
Hey,
see
Nick.
you, Nick. Tell George hello. We're thinking of him.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, for sure.
Please.
Please do. Yeah.
So George is good. So what is there something going on with George?
Well,
or what?
he just was having a regular show on Sundays, and then I guess there was some drama, so to speak, people in the peanut gallery, and I think he just backed away for a bit. And
taking a break.
It gets out of hand sometimes, and so
I don't see it every Sunday, but I see him quite. They were just on, wasn't it last week before I saw they did a show.
It's been a few weeks. Matter of fact, the last one I think he did was actually on a Monday. I think actually.
Yeah,
okay, I missed that then, I guess. Yeah.
It's been a month, huh, Nick?
It hasn't been that long. Wow.
About a month. Yeah, it's time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad people have to come on and be whatever. I don't understand any of that drama stuff. When I was doing my live streams, I really didn't have anybody come on and cause any kind of drama. It's kind of like your stream here. I mean, who's coming on here and causing trouble?
Yeah.
No. A bunch of old men here talking about who cares about us? They don't want to come and mess with this. We're so lame. They got nothing to they can't hurt us. They can say whatever they want. It would hurt my feelings anyway. It's probably true.
You ain't lying.
No, it's true.
You get to a certain age where who gives a rat's backside?
Yeah,
right?
go ahead. If that makes you have fun,
God bless you.
There you go.
Yeah.
I went to get a haircut the other day, and
sticker
I was going to go with my son. He come in at about 4:00 after work. He said, "Want to get a haircut?" I said, "Well, it's kind of late in the day. I would rather go earlier in the morning. Go out there. Because because I don't make an appointment or anything. I just go in and walk in and I get a haircut.
Sure.
So he come back and he's like, I'm not going there anymore. I said, what's going on? He said, well, I went to get a haircut. And the guy said, well, we don't do walk-ins. You have to come on a different day. And he said, I'm not even going to bother going back there. Because we had gone there before, but I guess we picked the day that they had. We don't know what the days are. We just went there and got a haircut. And so we went back there.
Right.
And I tell you what now, this
Business.
is quite the story. This is quite the story, folks. Are you ready for this? This is a little town of Blackshear where it's kind of like Mayberry, but it is 2024. So there is a few different types of folks in there nowadays. But, you know, I used to go to the same guy, took the kids there all the time and got him a haircut, right? And the guy was been cutting hair since 1950 or something. So he had to retire. So now they got a couple of new guys in there. So I go in there and I said, yeah, I come to get a haircut. He says, have you got an appointment? And I said, no, I don't have an appointment. I said, you know what? I've never made an appointment to get a haircut, and I don't really plan on starting. And he said, well, hang on, let me tell you how it works around here. So I said, okay, hang on. I sat down in the chair, let him tell me how he works his business. And then after he got done, I said, well, you know what? My boy come out here the other day, wanted to get a haircut, and you turned him down. Now I come in here to get a haircut. There ain't nobody here. And you still won't give me a haircut. I said, I don't understand it. I said, I'm not going to come back either. The man, that load meter went right into red. And he got up and he puts his arms together and he starts yelling at me about how do I dare come in there and insult him in his own business. And he's yelling at me. And I said, sorry, sir, I didn't insult you. I didn't say anything that you should have been insulted by. And no. And so I go to open the door to leave. He jumps in the doorway and he starts putting his arms out again and yelling at me. And so I said, listen, I'm sorry for hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I need to leave. And so he got out of the way and I left.
Please.
And then I looked in the phone book and they got a barber shop in downtown Waycross called the Trump Barber Shop. I said, that's the one I need to go to, baby. That's where I went down there and got a haircut. We had fun. He didn't yell at me once. It was great.
Jesus.
Trump barbershop.
Yeah.
It's called Make My Hair Great.
Got it on his window. It says, the Trump Barbershop, where we make haircuts great again.
Great again. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
It was
That's
right
too
there.
funny.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I got that last haircut. That's him. He did me a good job. So I'm happy with that. So that's good.
Yeah,
but
well,
I didn't, it kind of bothered me for a while, because when someone's, yelling at you about nothing.
Yeah,
I could have said something like, I didn't know you were a snowflake. I didn't know I was going to trigger you about,
Hey, could you step out of my way, Karen? I need to leave.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, but none of that. But one of them guys tattooed up one end and tattooed up the other and all that. So I didn't want to. I already said that I didn't want to be in his business. He thought that was the end of the world right there. So
yeah,
unbelievable.
And a lot of people don't realize everybody is in the service industry.
Oh, yeah.
Period. Doesn't matter what you do for a living.
That's right.
If you do anything for a living, you are in a service business.
Yeah. Yeah.
The man, I don't know how he's going to keep his business talking like that. He could have said 100 different things that would have been appropriate. That was not appropriate, the way he handled that.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're trying to get customers, he could have said, well, sir, I got someone coming right away and I don't want them waiting in line because, you walked in. So, we'd be glad maybe I could fit you in, or if you want to wait around, but something nice, not that. That was totally the wrong way to be a businessman.
I got something similar, but not the exact same. A busy lunch, they come in to order the food and blah, blah, regular day. And we have some customers that are limited in time, and we've always told them to call ahead. It'll be on the table when you get there. Well, there's a table sitting there. We haven't quite got to them to get their order yet. They've only been there 2-3 minutes most. And table walks in behind them, sits down at a table that already set up, and they sit down and they're there for about a minute, and we're going to drop their food off and get the other table's order. Well, we walk out, we put it down, and the other table's about to have a tizzy fit. Like, whoa, what's this? What's this? We were here before they were. Yes, ma'am, you certainly were. But they called me on the phone. You just like, sometimes you have to de-escalate people. It's like, calm down, it's going to be okay. But a lot of Karens in the world.
Don't get offended. We're not doing anything to you. These people called ahead and ordered ahead of time.
We're trying to make it. You can do the same thing.
Right. They just don't think about it. But anyway, you're sitting there for 3 minutes. Yeah. How many times have you been to a restaurant and sat there for 10 minutes before anybody even walked up to you? I mean, it's not abnormal when they're busy.
Or get it acknowledged. Like, look, I got 2 tables ahead of you. Everybody walked in together. That happens, lunchtime.
Yeah. Just be reasonable. That's how people
First in's the first one. But some people just.
You should have told them you don't have mental telepathy like they do. I knew what they wanted when they walked in.
My father's old school, and he had a phrase that I won't repeat.
Oh my God, we got to know it.
But there's something doesn't stink,
Yeah, right.
That's right. That's true. I had a friend of mine that used to say that about a certain person, right?
Yeah. Pop, I miss Pop.
People get offended for nothing, and this is the problem, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice, the younger generation, just to see their eyeballs. And here we are, the old folks talking about the generation, but they're not used to looking at someone in the eye to speak to them. They're always, like this on their phone, and that's how they communicate. It's like, I'm over here, look at me. They're just not, I don't know what it is, but they're just not. They rather text than call on the phone.
There's a guy that I watch. He has a YouTube channel, and his name is Dan, and his channel is I Allegedly. I'm not sure if he's out of California, and he talks about the economy and the things of the day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he talks like you or I would talk about it. And he just walks around the park and he talks about stuff. And he's like, they say the inflation's at 4%. Who believes this stuff? He's like, this is not true. Well, have you been shopping lately? Have you been to the store? This is his channel.
The problem is those numbers are like the increase for the past month. Well, it's been accumulating all that time up to then. So you need to look at the cumulative inflation.
Yeah, it's 30% if you're doing it.
It's total bull. So they say the rate of inflation has slowed. So it's like your cancer is slowing a little less than it was last month.
Yeah, you're still dying, folks.
You're
dying slower.
You're already 3/4 dead, but yeah.
Sometimes my industry feels that way.
I just think the people. I don't know. I guess there are people that stupid that just buy these lines. They don't think, because nothing goes down; it always goes up.
Yeah. Once they get it at the up, they're not bringing it down most of the time.
And they throw stuff in the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, that automatically a 55-inch TV has gone down every month, and they leave a 55-inch TV in there to counter the number in the
gallon of milk. Yeah,
it brings it down. Well, the gallon of milk's going up 9%. That thing brings it down to say 6% because the TV's got $50 cheaper.
Well, there's another way. They used to have a bunch of different markers in there, like meat and eggs and milk and housing and car insurance, which they've taken all of that out now. But if you go back to like the 1970s, the way they used to do it, there's still people that have those formulas, and you can go on the internet and do a search, and you'll see if you try to grade the inflation by 1975 standards, we're at 35% inflation.
But Ron, let's be fair. Both parties have been chipping away at the things that come up with a number that's nationally advertised. So it's criminal against the people of our country.
It's built into the algorithm, and the problem is nobody wants to get honest about the algorithm.
Right. They don't want to look at reality and say, hey, while I'm the in party, we don't want to show you reality.
They sure don't.
Somebody really needs to just do it.
because you've got to look at mandatory things versus optional things. A TV
Yeah.
is
My phone.
optional. Food
Yeah.
is mandatory. Fuel is
Well,
mandatory.
not food is not mandatory to a point. And I'll explain. I'm a restaurateur. That is not mandatory. Going
No,
out to
that's
eat
not.
Well,
No,
that's
is a
hey
luxury.
Nick.
It is a bigger
But the-
luxury today than it's
but the-
ever been.
but
How
the
is your
product-
business?
the
Because
product-
people aren't doing that as much.
But
Nope.
the product you buy is in the basket, and that
Right, of
doesn't.
course, for the household it is, but when there's categories, subcategories of everything we can discuss.
Sure.
But the restaurant business is just for
Lizzo
us.
needs food.
And yeah, let's
Hey.
talk about. Let me show
Liz-
pictures of
Liz-
cheesesteaks.
Lizzo needs a widescreen TV.
You know, in
For her.
California, they put in a $20 an hour minimum
Yeah.
wage for fast food restaurants.
Sure.
Out of
2
business.
months later, 10,000 fast food restaurants closed.
Yep.
And
And
it
they
only
had
only took 2 months for 10,000, and it's still going down. And
Well,
a
they
lot
added
of the
automation.
shopping malls are out of business, and there's thousands of like Big Lots now. They're closing all their stores and all. But the economy's great, folks. Don't worry about it. Look over here.
There you
That's
go.
Nick's place right there.
Who's hungry?
I've eaten one of those.
That looks great.
Hey,
It doesn't look like it's on my diet,
You
but
gotta run, Brad.
yeah, I
You
say,
gotta run,
I,
Brad.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I got to
Thanks,
work
buddy.
in the morning, so
I understand.
Yep. I got to work on what's
Brad.
Oh yeah. I
Vinyl
got a
Rush.
restaurant
I'm going
to
to have
run.
to look at your channel too. You're very intelligent. I really like your demeanor too. Very, very good. You know a lot
Yeah,
about.
Brad's
You know
great.
more about records than I do. That's for sure.
no, I wouldn't say that. But thank you, Ron. I actually don't have a channel.
Oh,
You
you
gotta
don't?
see him
Okay.
on my channel.
Yeah, but I joined David's channel pretty
Yeah.
frequently.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Okay, good.
He's good,
Yeah.
great co-host.
Yeah, you are.
I really
Thanks,
is.
Brad.
enjoy it, and thank you,
Take
Good
care,
night,
David.
buddy.
Brad.
Congratulations.
Good visiting
Have a good
with you,
evening.
buddy.
See you later. Thanks.
All right,
Bye.
see you guys.
Sure. Bye.
Bye now. What
Yeah,
a nice
he's
gentleman.
Well,
Yeah,
no, he's
great
a great
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been a godsend.
Very well spoken, and I like the sound of his voice. Is very soothing. It's
Yes.
yeah, it is. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's
My
really
wife
fun.
listens to this guy on the radio. His name is Dan Bongino, and he
Oh, yeah,
just
I know
yells all the time. He's always yelling. I said his mother must be Janet Yellen, because that's all he does. I can't listen to it. He gets
He's
excited.
only
He's
gotten
like,
that.
turn that down.
I've listened to Dan
listen to
for a
that.
long since he started, and he hadn't always been that way. But he's gotten so frustrated with what's going on, and
Right.
especially since he was Secret Service. He's
Yes, sir.
bodyguard presidents and heads of state, so he knows exactly. So of course he's gotten a little more animated in the past.
But
Short
he's been
history.
animated. He gets up there. She loves him, and I like him too. But he gets a little too out there. He gets a little too. He yells too much. It gets me.
That's not his natural
what
state.
the thing is,
I'm here to tell you.
this other guy's voice is the opposite of that. Is very this fella that we just talked to. Is
Yeah.
the opposite
Brad.
of that.
Right.
Soothing, relaxing. That's like Dave on the I Allegedly channel. He's the same way. He doesn't get excited and yell. He'll just like he'll do this a little sigh once in a while. And what do you think about it? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy that a lot more than somebody that is actually acting out how I feel. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I said, Dan, I mean, he's been in that business, and to see how bad a mess it is when this is supposed to be the creme of the creme of the world.
3.
We need. What's that?
They had 3 agents there. That was it.
Well, it was all we could spend.
Yeah, I know.
Discussing
I watch them.
foul-ups.
I watch a lot of those videos all day long. I watch a lot of that stuff.
But in the past month or two, he's gotten a lot more. But it's out of frustration. It absolutely, because that's what he did for a living. He knows.
He gets excited.
The thing is, if the incompetence is this strong, and that's all it is, then if I was anybody guarded by those people, I'd be scared shitless.
Yep, absolutely. And it's not just at the top level; it's several levels down.
Right.
This mess is.
I think that poor woman that resigned the other day, I don't think she's even complicit with anything. She's just a fall guy for this whole thing. She just got put in there to do some,
She
DEI,
was Jill's
whatever it's
favorite.
called.
Yeah.
She knew nothing about what was going on. That's for sure.
No, she's not. Now the next guy that's in there, I think he's got a little more probably complicit.
No.
with
Deputy.
Yeah, he's more complicit. He knows somewhat what's going on, but he's no better. He was raging on how great she was and what a wonderful leader she was, and all. And it's like, wait, what? How could you be a wonderful leader when you failed on so many topics and issues?
She might have been a nice person. That we got nothing against her personality, but you're.
There were too many things that anybody who's a leader should have been able to answer. And
I called my congressman.
She's been told
today.
already to be quiet. She's already been told you're not supposed. The FBI and the CAA have already told her, "Moms, don't talk. Keep your mouth shut."
Well, she told that to her rank and file. The moment it happened, she said, "Shut up!
Took a letter out.
Don't talk to anybody." Well, 9 days later, you're supposed to have some answers for Congress.
That's why there's whistleblowers.
That's the only thing they're getting some info on. Yeah, really.
Yeah, because Dan knows quite a few of those people, so he's been hearing. That's why he's
that's
so
right.
frustrated.
He says, I heard this from somebody said this, and that's where it came out. I think Dan was the one said there was only 3 Secret Service agents on the whole detail. The rest of them were from Homeland Security.
DHS agents. Most of them.
Yeah, they were just I said, there was 3 secretaries out there. They put their holsters on. Now they're going to protect the president.
Yeah, it was, and then to say for the last 2 weeks, we knew there was an increased threat on him. I'm thinking, what would it have been like if there wasn't an increase?
Yeah. I watched a little bit of that hearing, and that guy basically said that this was your increased security. Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate. And it doesn't matter who it was that was the target, just to have that kind of incompetence is.
Yeah.
Well, I think it does matter because the people guarding the other folks, they don't have all this DEI people. They don't have all this incompetence, and we don't want to get into some truth saying. They want to call it conspiracy theory, but it's usually code for truth. That's kind of how that kind of stuff works.
Well, a lot of those things end up, just give it time, right? That's just give it time.
I hate to call it a night, but I do have a restaurant open in the morning.
I do too.
So.
Take care, buddy.
Thank
you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Congratulations
again. Everybody in the Peanut Gallery, thank you very much for being here.
I'm so happy for you, Dave. And onward and upward. I'll see you soon.
Bud. Thank you.
Ron, chat with you later. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Make
God
sure you
bless.
give me an email. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Everybody. Thank you for joining. Have a good one.
And I'll leave with this. Just remember, the people that are successful, they're putting videos out every week.
Yep.
Because this is about celebrating your success, and we want to see it continue and get even to higher heights. So the part of the problem with your business is like the other fellows, they buying records every week. This is why they can do videos all the time. So wish you the best of luck, and thanks so much for having me on. I had a great time.
And I buy all mine, so that's the other thing.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
Yeah. So
I could get into another story, but we got to go.
Okay. Thanks, Ron. See you all.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Have a good week. Bye-bye.